Instead, it's like, how do we make the relationship the refuge in the storm? Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. What is the scene method and how does this particular video work? How do you use this? Short answer to what the scene method is, it is not me coming down on high and giving you answers. It's me giving you questions. Questions that cut through all the crap and get to your real issue. Because I thought the problems were that he wasn't sensitive enough, he wasn't compassionate, he wasn't emotionally safe, he wasn't listening to me, he wasn't hearing me, he wasn't seeing me, he wasn't creating a safe space, he was frustrating me, he was doing those things that he knew would hurt me and he was still doing them. What's wrong with him? He was making me walk on eggshells. I thought those things were our problems. They were just symptoms. And I got sick of feeling resentful and I got sick of being kind of a jerk and I got sick of being defensive and I got sick of him being defensive and I got sick of so much stuff and I got sick of it being so hard. And I was like, does it have to be this hard? Does it really have to be this hard? And I started to ask myself questions and I boiled it down and stitched together these 4 simple questions and a framework for how to speak to each other. A simple, easy to grab framework for how to speak to each other. And it has consistently healed every issue we run into. So I got jazzed and started teaching people about it. And then that went viral. And then I taught more about it and it went viral again and viral again and viral again. And then I started to grow an online, pretty big following on Instagram. And now here I am full time working with couples, showing you my method. And I hope what you're learning from my story is I'm not your guru. I'm not trying to be a guru. I'm not your guru. I am trying to help you simplify so that your relationship can feel easy and light. And instead of thinking, well, of course we're having a hard time, it's stressful and awful, and maybe we're not even going to make it through this. Instead, it's like, how do we make the relationship the refuge in the storm instead of part of the storm? That's what I teach you to do. So how this works, the scene method, how this works. The first thing I'm going to teach you on this video, there are a bunch of sections about the mirror game. That is the way to talk to each other. You'll notice it's very simple. That is the hardest thing about it. It's very simple. You're going to want to jump in and do things. You want to say things. You want to do that's the hardest part for people. How simple it is. If you let it be simple, you can heal so many things in the moment that they happen or close to the moment that they happen. It's incredible. I'm so excited for you to learn it. I'm so excited. So I first teach you about the mirror game. That's a significant portion of this. And then I teach you about the scene questions. And the way that this works is when you run into an issue, you have any kind of tension, anxiety, frustration, whatever. When you yourself are the triggered one and you're the hurt one and you're the angry one, jump first to the scene questions. Because the first thing you got to do is get in touch with yourself, which I'll tell you why, but not now. Because I already did a video about that and that's later and you're going to love it. So if you're triggered, when you come to this video, go to the scene questions first, then move back to mirror game. Otherwise, mirror game is the way that you talk. You're going to start talking to each other around conflict and non-conflict. It's phenomenal. If you're like almost everyone who's ever been in my repair lab or worked with me, you start to use the mirror game with everyone. With your parents, with your kids, with your friends, with your coworkers. It's like a magical unlock to real connection with people. It's amazing. So have fun. I'm so excited. And if at any point during this, you're like, this is a lot for me, I don't really learn by just watching somebody in a video, you can totally come to one of my events. I do a live weekend. It's a comeback weekend. It's me teaching you every step of the scene method, everything that you're learning here, except it's live with me. And what I do is I walk you tool, practice. You go practice it in a breakout room. You come back, you ask me questions, I talk to you. Then we go back. I teach you a tool through a story, a short story of a real person, often me and my husband, because hello, there's a reason that I'm teaching how to do this stuff. I've run into it. However crazy you've been in relationships, I have been crazier. I teach you a tool. You go into a breakout room and you either practice it with your partner or a completely different person, because sometimes it is safer to practice it with somebody who's not your partner before you dive into the deep end with somebody that you really care about. You'll see. It's a blast. It's a blast. And I hate live virtual events because it feels like a waste of time. I make this not a waste of time. I make this only a weekend instead of months of couples therapy. I make this in a way, these events that I do these weekend events that I do, I make it so that every minute is helpful. There is no fluff. There's no, my cat used to be yellow and now he's black. That would be a crazy story actually to hear, but I'm only talking about relationship stuff and I'm teaching you. So if you want to come to that, go to the link in the description and I'll see you there. Otherwise, keep on booking it down this video. I hope that it helps you. It's such an honor that you're here. Thank you so much for trusting me. Good Morgan. Let me make this super real for you, okay? If you have been in a committed relationship, you've probably been Alex or Amy. Alex is the doer. He is the fixer. He is the person who does the emotional labor often. I mean, he gets things done. He is trustworthy. He shows up. He doesn't ask for anything from anybody. He doesn't need anything from anybody. He is good. But sometimes he's really lonely and he's really overwhelmed and he's frustrated and he's sad. And in those moments, he turns to the love of his life, his partner, Amy. And he's like, hey, I'm feeling things. Please help me feel a little less alone. And Amy ignores him. Amy's not into it. For instance, Alex gets a really weird email. Alex gets a weird email from a coworker. This coworker is always throwing things off for Alex. And he's like, okay, I want to talk to my best friend about this. I'm going to reach out to Amy. And this will probably be safe to talk about because it's not even about her. It's about this coworker of mine. So he's like, he screenshots the email. He sends it to Amy and he's like, Amy, this is really weird, right? And Amy's like, yeah. He's like, can we talk about it? She's like, for sure. Totally. Okay, cool. An hour goes by, 2 hours go by. Still not talking about it. He assumes she's busy, being really cool about it. Totally fine. Then he's at home. He walks past their bedroom and he sees her scrolling on her phone, just having fun on Instagram. And he's like, oh my gosh, she's doing it again. She's ignoring me again. So he does a heavy sigh and he's like, Amy, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm scrolling. I'm just sorry. And so he's like, okay, well, I texted you about the thing. I thought we would talk about it. She's like, oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. But we have to go now, don't we? He's like, yeah, we do. So they leave. They go to an event. A version of this happens 3 or 4 more times over the next 3 days. He asks her, hey, we still haven't talked about that thing. She just totally blows it off, doesn't initiate. After the 3rd time of him initiating this thing that he needed, which is hard for him because he doesn't want to admit he needs anything in the first place, he blows up and he's like, why don't you pay attention to me? Like, why do you not care enough about me and my life to talk to me about this stupid email? Like, it's not even that big of a deal. I don't know why you kept shutting down. It's like, I can never get you to talk. Like, I can't get you to talk to me. What is wrong with you? And Amy's like, whoa. That's not called for. That's like a lot. Like, you shouldn't be yelling at me. So now he's like, okay, now the argument is all about how I brought it up the wrong way and not the actual thing, the problem, which is you ignored me all weekend. Let alone just talking about the email itself, which, by the way, it's too late because I had to respond. So I did it on my own. So, it's fine. But also it's not. And she's like, okay, well, I didn't know that it was that important to you. And so I didn't. And he's like, you're not. Now we're getting sucked into the details again and you're getting defensive and you're dismissing me and whatever. And they just give up. Okay, now from Alex's perspective, we're listening to this and you got to be like, what is wrong with Amy? She's not a keeper. Why are you keeping her around? But here's Amy's perspective. Alex says he does everything around the house. Alex says he takes on all the responsibility. He does the emotional labor. He does all of it, right? If you talk to Amy, Amy kind of agrees. He does do a lot. And every time she tries to do something too, he seems to catch her and criticize her for it. He says she's not doing it right. She's not doing it fast enough. She's not doing it his way. He will say some comment about, I should have just done it myself. Why are you doing it like that? Why didn't you do it then? Why? Ugh. So every time she does something, she gets it wrong. So Amy actually does a lot more around the house than she lets Alex even realize, because it's more dangerous for him to see than for her to do it secretly. It's more dangerous for him to see what she's doing than for him to think she's doing nothing. Because if she's invisible, she can't get criticized. When it comes to conversations, she can never say the right thing. She feels like if it has any emotion to it, if it has any heat to it, she's going to get it wrong. He's going to be upset that she didn't validate him enough, or that she didn't say the right thing, or that she wasn't good enough in some way. She can just never get it right. So what she has to do every time they have a conversation is she either has to apologize very quickly, or she has to just get super defensive and explain where she was coming from. Otherwise, he just steamrolls her, and she can't keep doing that because she just feels so like she's abandoning herself, and she starts resenting him, and she doesn't want to resent him. So then she's like, what am I supposed to do? Also, he says that he doesn't burden anybody with any of his feelings, but he's the only one bringing up these emotional conversations. She's not burdening anyone with her feelings. Of course, he's saying, why can't you open up to me? I want you to open up to me. And she's like, I don't even know what I'm feeling. How could I be able to open up to you? I don't even open up to me. I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, why do you have to make it everything's such a big deal? And Amy feels like she doesn't feel the right thing. She doesn't say the right thing. She doesn't do the right thing. And the only time the relationship is good is if he is happy. And if he is happy, then she can breathe. So when he wanted to talk about the email, she forgot. Truly forgot. A big part of the reason that she forgot is that in her head, she doesn't do anything right anyway. And he doesn't need her. As a matter of fact, when she tries to show up as a friend, he just criticizes her. So she didn't get excited to talk about something with him because she wasn't going to get rewarded for doing it. Like, not consciously, subconsciously. Her brain was like, well, why would I do that? I will fail. Let's just procrastinate. And then the next time she saw his face, he was mad at her. He was frustrated that she was scrolling on her phone. And that just sparked it. And she went, yep, I knew it. I knew it. I could never do anything right. Could never say anything right. And she spent the whole weekend walking on eggshells, trying to be perfect so that he wouldn't be mad. And in the process, she didn't do the one thing he was hoping that she would do, which was just talk to him about how he was feeling, because she didn't know how. The way that we solved this is seen in the mirror game. What you can hear in my story there, if you look for it, are plenty of fears, embarrassments, expectations, and needs from both of them that they were projecting onto the other person. Alex is afraid. He has no idea that Alex was taught to believe that he is loved for what he does, not who he is. He is loved for what he does for somebody, not for who he is. So when he has a feeling, he's already pretty intense and afraid that her reaction is going to prove to him that he shouldn't have that negative feeling and that she's going to reject him. So if she doesn't do it just pitch perfect, he takes it as proof that she doesn't care. He takes it as proof that his fear is proven right. She doesn't love him for who he is. She doesn't care about what he feels. She just loves him for what he does for her. That's one of the core fears. He is afraid that if somebody sees the imperfect version of him, they will not love and accept him. They will leave him. He's embarrassed that he has any needs, that he has any feelings, and that he is asking for anything from anyone. So he's super on edge when he does it, which she senses, but she thinks it's all about her, not him. He expects himself to need nothing, to feel only happy things, and to be super easy. And so when he's not, he's letting himself down and he's disappointed in himself, and he's already rejecting himself. So when she seemingly rejects him too by not talking about this stuff, he's afraid that he's being proven right. He is too much. She's got a really similar fear. Right under there You can hear her fear that if she doesn't do it right, she's going to get scolded, criticized, judged, rejected. She's scared that she'll be judged, criticized, rejected, abandoned if she responds imperfectly. She's embarrassed that she doesn't know how to respond perfectly. She expects herself to be the perfect partner, to say the right thing, to do the right thing, and she never meets that expectation, so why even try? She expects him to be mad when she doesn't make it happen, which actually makes him respond that way. It helps him. It helps continue the pattern. Now let's get to their needs because it's the same one. That's what's wild about this. They both just need the other person to be curious. They both need the other person to validate them. And this is what we're doing with the scene method. This is what we're doing here. What they did is they had a pattern. Step 1 through 10. Step 1, she shuts down, or step 1, he gets frustrated. He has a big emotion that he's thrown her way. Step 2, if he has the big emotion, then her step 2 is shutting down. And if she shuts down, then his step 2, his response is getting frustrated that he can't get her to talk. And then there's a dance that leads them to, oh God, whatever. Why do we even try this? I give up. I give up. They're actually treating step 1 as if it's step 10. That's why she shuts down completely. That's why he blows up so fast, because they've done it enough that they assume, oh, when you shut down, I'll never get to hear what you're actually thinking or feeling. Oh, when you blow up, I can never do anything right. And it's just going to end up with me being defensive and apologetic and you're not going to understand me. Both of them think that as soon as Amy shuts down or as soon as Alex blows up, we are not going to get understood. Why even try? And then they're mad, and they're getting mad about a step 10 that hasn't even happened yet. They're treating step 1 like step 10. I get it because I did it. I get it because I did it too. So the solution to this is treating step 1 like step 1 and turning step 2 into curiosity, which is what the mirror game is all about. It's understanding me and understanding you. It's not getting understood. Conflict is fighting to be understood. Understand me, dang it. I want to be understood. Connection is fighting to understand me and to understand you. Notice it's fighting to understand. Understanding me is not the same thing as getting understood. I am going to turn to myself first and give myself first the compassion and the curiosity that I want from you. And once I do that, I can allow you to give me compassion and curiosity too. And vice versa. I can treat you with curiosity and compassion once I've given it to myself as well. That's the counterintuitive step 2 of the process. The first step, you can't control. You cannot choose your first response, but you can choose your second. And your second response is curiosity. First, towards yourself. Not about what did that person do that makes them deserve my feeling, but about, what happened in my past that made me think this was such a big deal today? How old am I right now? Because if I'm this activated, I'm probably not a full-grown adult. If I was a full-grown, emotionally mature adult, I'd go, whoa, that was intense. Why did that happen? Oh, no, that's not a big deal. We can fix that. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's the energy of an emotionally mature adult. When you get activated, you're no longer adult. You're a kid. You're somebody back in trauma. You're, as I said in the last video, you're perceiving this moment right now as if it's one from the past that's very similar. You had no safety, control, or choice. So touching in with yourself. And what we do and what I'll teach you in the 8-week class, in our live sessions, is parts work. And I've boiled it down to 10 questions that you just ask over and over again. It's 6 questions with subparts. You ask until you get there. till you get to that part. And you just take care of your inner child and your inner teen and all the other flavors that are around. If you're going to do a individual therapy paired with this, I recommend IFS, because IFS or parts work of some kind and it's a great practitioner who has great reviews. That is how you learn to turn to yourself first. Another great one is EMDR. I recommend something that is not just talk therapy, because just talk therapy, you get caught in story, and story tends to end up being rumination. So step one, you can't choose. So great. That's an indicator. Am I shutting down? Ooh, that's an indicator. Is she shutting down? Ooh, that's an indicator that something big is happening here. Let's get to discover each other now. Ooh, is he blowing up? Am I blowing up? That's an indicator that something is going on. Let's discover it together. We are on the same team figuring this out. That's what the mirror game is. It's figuring it out together. It's puzzling it together. It's knowing and accepting each other together. Oh, I hope that makes sense. It's so powerful. I'm working so hard to make it clear, because once you've experienced, and that's the power of that, the class is experiencing it in real time, watching other people experience it. It's like, oh, the juiciest, most amazing thing. So yeah, that is how Alex and Amy healed. And instead of coming into my sessions always closed off and disconnected, they started coming to sessions giggling and being best friends and talking about things. And suddenly Amy started to know her emotions, because she was trying to find and accept them herself. And she would bring that journey in front of him, and Alex would support her in it, not hijack it from her, support her in it. And Alex felt so safe, because he would actually admit when he was scared that he needed something. And Amy, loved the opportunity to step up and be like, I love who you are. I appreciate what you do, but I love who you are. Tell me your feelings. I want to understand you. And that's how we shifted. And the mirror game became validation instead of agreement or solutions. So instead of hearing something going wrong and going, I got to solve it, or I got to defend myself about it, it was, ooh, tell me more about that. I want to get curious about that. What about that really hurt? Where are you coming from? Oh gosh, yeah, of course you feel that way. That makes total sense. I felt that way too. That's not what I was feeling in that moment, though. That's not how I experienced it. Are you down to hear where I'm coming from? They became like that. And it gave them safety. They became each other's safest places on the planet, because they were allowed to be their full selves without destroying the other person or burdening the other person. They were each empowering the other person to be the leaders of their own journeys, but partners in the process. Healing is something that no one can do for you. It doesn't matter how aggressively Alex tried to get Amy to share her feelings and know her feelings until she decided to do it for herself first. It was a closed, locked door. And it didn't matter how hard he banged on that thing, it was not going to open. But once she opened it, he had to walk through. Healing is something no one can do for you. It's your journey. You're the only person who can open yourself to the magic of this world. And it's something you cannot do alone, which is the power of the mirror game. You get to see and validate someone else's experience without sacrificing your own. You get to go, oh, I really get what it feels like to be you. And that's not how I felt in the process. And you get to guide somebody through doing the same thing back to you. Do you get what it felt like to be me? I know that wasn't your experience in the moment, but do you get why I felt that way? And it helps you feel safe to be individuals, to be free together. That the togetherness is actually what frees you. Oh, it's so powerful. Okay. I hope that case study helps make this make sense. And we are about to dive into the other letters of scene a little bit more. We're going to talk a little bit more. Yeah, so let's go. I'm sorry is bullshit. Because usually when we say I'm sorry, we do not mean I understand how it feels to be you. I really get it. And I hate that I made you feel that way. I'm so sorry. What we mean is, please don't be mad at me. Okay. I wasn't meaning to hurt you. So don't feel hurt. I got this. Oh my God. Chill out. I got it. It's not a big deal. That's what's really happening. What happened to me and my husband and what happens to so many of the clients that I work with is we get caught in the doghouse cycle where I did not understand what was happening. Okay. But I was saying I'm sorry constantly. And it felt like I just got more and more annoying. Like I would do something that hurt his feelings or do something that I didn't realize was against one of his rules or neuroses or something. And then I would go, oh God, I'm so sorry. Of course. Yeah, no, I got it. And then I would try to change. And then I was walking on eggshells and I was living in the dang doghouse because I kept being like, man, it doesn't matter how much I do. I keep getting things wrong. It's like I'm set up to lose. So I just walked on more eggshells and became more careful. And it made him trust me less and less. And we got caught there with him feeling like I wasn't trustworthy, with me feeling like I wasn't trustworthy. Like I couldn't get it right. And then thank goodness this happened one day. I was finally like, what the heck? And I was spreading peanut butter on bread and my husband was visibly upset, but trying to keep it inside. And something about the absurdity of that, like I could hear loved ones of mine in my head going, he's mad at you about peanut butter. And I went, hold on. I think something's up. I think we're doing this wrong. What does it mean to you that I'm spreading the peanut butter like this? He goes, oh, well, it's stupid. It's just, that's half the problem. He's trying to make himself not mad. So in the process of being upset, he's like, I shouldn't be upset. But you know what? I am upset. So then all this tension in his head is happening too, where he feels awful for being mad, which makes him justify his anger even more, which makes by the time it comes out on me, it's aggressive and it's a lot and I can feel it. Even if he's trying to be calm, I can feel it. And he goes, I don't know. It's just like, I've told you before that I don't like when you use the same knife and the peanut butter on the bread and then you put it back in the peanut butter, just like it gets pieces of bread back in that peanut butter jar and it bothers me. And I went, okay. And this is where the mirror game began. I go, so you're feeling like this proves I don't listen to you or care about you. Is that right? What am I missing? And he looked so relieved and went, yeah. And I went, oh, well then of course you're upset. And he was like, yeah. And I went, okay, that's not, and this is so key. That's not how I experienced it. Do you mind if I share where I'm coming from? And because he felt understood, and this is a truncated version of this conversation because it was the first time we did this, so it was a little messy. He was like, yeah. And I said, okay, I don't even think about little pieces of bread getting in the peanut butter. I'm just thinking, I know he loves PB&J and I want to make him one. Do you mind telling me what you just heard me say? Because I'm not sure I was being clear. That part is so key, getting him to reflect back to me what I am feeling too. Oh man, if you're the eggshell walker, you don't do that. You're like, oh, you feel understood. I'm good. Thank God. I'm not in trouble anymore. We're good. And accidentally, we break trust because what I'm saying to him, if I am only making him feel understood, what that says to his brain is his perspective was 100% right and the only one that mattered. And what it says to my brain is his perspective was the only one that mattered and was right. So I've got something wrong with me. So it's so essential to be like, that's not how I experienced it. Do you mind hearing where I was coming from? So I said that and he's like, sure. I explained where I was coming from. And then I asked him, what did you just hear me say? I'm not sure I was being clear. That is so key because I now get to hear him reflect back and he's putting himself in my shoes. Once we both feel understood, we never even figured out a system for peanut butter. It was never an issue again. And so many times we jump straight to solution, and jumping straight to solution often just creates more problems and makes your brain go, yeah, it was a problem. But if you start with understanding, often you go, oh, there's not really a problem here. And it just kind of dissolves. It's so much simpler than we think it is. It's so much simpler. So that is the basic version of the mirror game. When people are hurt by us, like by me, what I want to say is, oh, I can fix this. I didn't mean to hurt you, so you shouldn't feel hurt. So if I just clarify that I didn't mean to hurt you, you'll be good. That is actually me starting a fight. I think that I'm stopping a fight before it starts because I'm clarifying. Oh, no, you shouldn't be mad because I wasn't trying to be hurtful. That's me saying you shouldn't feel how you feel. So what do they immediately do? Prove to me they deserve to feel how they feel. I just asked them to. I just said, you don't deserve to feel that way because that's not what I was trying to do. And they go, no, I do deserve to feel this way because it doesn't matter what you were trying to do. This is how it landed. And I go, okay, but it doesn't matter because I started the fight. And I used to think it was him starting the fight, but he was actually just sharing his feelings. I was starting the fight. I was the one going, oh, no, don't feel that way. So wild, because I didn't realize in that instance, if somebody tells me their feelings, they are asking for me to understand them. Conflict is fighting to be understood. Connection is fighting to understand. So if somebody comes to me with their feelings and they are asking me to understand them, if I actually do, we're going to get connection. If I say, no, hold on, I'll understand you in a minute, but you have to understand me first. Boom, baby, we are right in the middle of a fight. And that sucks for everybody. We don't like it. Now, here's something that's key. I'm going to say it again and again because I got to get it through your head. This is not a test. In the version that I just told you to keep it short, it's tight and I got his emotions right the first time. But often it's wrong. And you're like, oh, do you think that I'm an awful person? Or are you scared that you married a terrible human? And they're like, no, that's not what I said at all. And then you go, oh, it's not? Okay, say it again. Let me hear it. Good. If you get it wrong and you guess what they're feeling wrong, you reflect what they're feeling wrong. Good. That helps you both know when they send a message, what actually gets received. That helps you start to go, oh, I'm misinterpreting them. It helps them go, oh, the way that I speak comes across this way. Good to know. It's a puzzle and you're on the same team to solve it. It is not a test. So when you are upset and you're sharing your feelings with your partner and your feeling reflects, your partner reflects them back poorly, great, good, excellent. That is you learning how you each hear things, how you speak, how things land. It is not a test, it's a puzzle. And it's such a gift if your partner is brave enough to try to understand you. Do not be like, oh, see, I knew you didn't care about me, which is so tempting to do, but it won't work because it'll just discourage your partner from trying to understand you. And how do we understand each other? By doing it badly first, like everything else, by learning. We have to learn. We have to try. So not a test, a puzzle that you are figuring out together. Now you may have noticed, and here's what's coming up in the next video. I'm saying feelings a lot, and I am not saying facts, story, narrative. I'm saying none of those things. Because if you focus on trying to reflect the facts, the story, the narrative, if you focus on trying to clarify which is the right thing, it's going to screw you over. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you why. Why do we focus on feelings before facts? It's juicy and it will transform how you do this. So that's coming in the next video. Please, in the workbook, the section titled Mirror Game will take you step by step to do it. And it'll teach you exactly what to do. When you first start, it's kind of jolted because you stick to the dang questions, and I will explain why in the next video. And slowly but surely, it'll feel so good. You're just going to start doing it naturally. Okay. I'll see you in the next one. Why do we not focus on facts? Why do facts screw us over? Facts and story, we bring those up for one reason. because we do not feel like the other person believes we deserve to feel the way that we feel. So we are proving that we do. That's it. Instead, skip straight to the feelings. That is a lot more helpful. Because here's an example. All right. I am working on a project all day long, all day freaking long, and I am almost done. And I'm so excited. And my husband knocks on the door and he says, the door of my office, and he's like, hey, how you doing? Are you almost done? And I was like, yes, I am almost done. Fabulous. He's like, okay, cool. He goes away. He's in the kitchen. I come upstairs. An hour and a half later, I'm like, ooh, yes. And I'm dancing. I mean, I'm excited about this thing. And I'm like, hey, baby. And he is not dancing. He's murdering our appliances. The microwave door is getting closed much faster and harder than it needs to be closed. He is stirring the food. He's like, he's cooking and he's not cooking happy. He's cooking angry. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Like, I can feel the tension. And he is silent for a while. And I'm like, no, come on. Hey, what's going on? Seriously. He goes, you said you were almost done. And I went, oh, let me tell you, that did not go over very well. Okay. And then I went, oh, no. I'm just saying that I thought almost done. I was almost done because I was working on it all day. But for you, of course, it's not almost done because it took me 90 more minutes. So I said almost done. You probably thought it was coming up really soon. And I did. In my head, I was, but it was actually. He was not hearing a word I said. And thank goodness, I know the mirror game. We've learned the mirror game. We do this all the time with each other. And I went, oh, he can't hear me. That means I need to reflect. So I went, okay, sorry. Let me try that again. What did I do that was hurtful? He goes, you said you were almost done. And then you came up an hour and a half later. I go, yeah. That makes sense. It's got to be frustrating. I was in my head, I was almost done. But when I said that out loud, of course you thought it meant 15 minutes. Anybody would think it means 15 minutes. And it was 90. Like of course that was frustrating. Of course you expected me to come up. Of course you were frustrated when I didn't come out of my office until 90 minutes later. It's like, yeah, he's still upset. Like, okay, what am I missing? He goes, and then you laughed at me. And I went, oh, so not only did I mislead you, but also when you told me that I had hurt you, I laughed at you. And he was like, yeah, that felt pretty awful, huh? He was like, yep. And I was like, that makes sense. And by this time, his body had relaxed and he was looking me in the eye, which let me tell you, he was not doing that before. And I went, okay, can I tell you where I was coming from? And he goes, yeah, okay. I go, I was working on that project the entire day for like 10 hours. And when you asked if I was almost done, I was at 8.5 hours. And I thought, I am almost done. And even after 90 more minutes, when I finished it, I was so excited to have finished it. That 90 minutes didn't feel like 90 minutes. We both already know that I have time blindness. I had no idea. It didn't even I didn't notice it took 90 minutes to finish. It felt almost done. It did. And I got up and I was excited. And I wasn't thinking. And it makes sense that you were upset. I really did mean that I was almost done when I said it. But almost done in the context of 10 hours was 90 minutes. He was like, oh, okay. I mean, can you tell me what you just heard me say? Because now I'm a little nervous that it didn't make sense. And he goes, yeah. For you, almost done was 90 minutes. And you weren't trying to be hurtful. And I was like, yeah. That is an example. When you hear that, you hear some facts in there. But the focus is feelings. And the reason for that is that I could have gone, okay, well, hold on. I didn't say 15 minutes. I said almost done. So for you to assume that it was 15 minutes, that's not fair because I never promised 15 minutes and maybe I should have been more clearer, but you should have been more clearer too. Like if you had asked me, are you going to be done in 15 minutes? Maybe I would have said 15 minutes, and you didn't. So facts and story is more about blame. And it gets caught in this game of evidence. This is where we say things like, well, it wasn't 11:20, it was 11:40. Well, it wasn't 2 hours, it was 15 minutes. Well, it wasn't, we get caught in the facts because we're hoping that they will take away us being blamed. Blame is not part of the mirror game because blame doesn't create accountability. It creates shame. And shame makes you hide, defend, or find someone else to blame. None of those things are going to help us feel connected. I'm going to dive into that in the next video a little bit more. For this video, what I'm pointing out is that feelings color everything. And they color the facts. And if you focus on the facts first, what you will end up doing is fighting over whose story is right, who deserves to feel what they feel. Like the peanut butter story from the video before, if he says, you never listen and you do this. I told you so many times that I don't like the peanut butter with the knife spread like that. And I go, well, hold on. You only told me once. So it's not really fair. Now we're caught in facts. But if I listen for it and I go, are you feeling uncared for? Are you feeling like I don't listen to you? Are you feeling misunderstood? So instead of responding to the story, reflect the feeling. That is going to put us on the same side. We're both trying to figure out what the feeling is. We're both trying to figure out why this hurts so much. What hurts about this? I am trying to see you more than I am trying to see your story. So I hope that helps clarify. But as soon as facts come up, look for the feeling under them. If somebody lists out a story, look for the feeling under them. That is the key. When you look at the workbook and it says how it's written out, when you're doing the steps, you'll notice a lot of language about feeling in the mirror game. The listener responds to the speaker by saying, this is what you're feeling. This is why it makes sense. What am I missing? That is because you always got to cut under the facts and under the story, under the narrative to the feeling and really try to see their heart and connect with them right there. That's going to get you on the same team. Facts first is a surefire way to get you on opposite teams. That's two lawyers coming to court ready to defend their side of the story. You know who doesn't walk out of the court making out? The two opposing lawyers. Although I would watch that TV show. Now that I say that, that would be great. I would be into that. Yeah. All right. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. We are going to be talking about how to share your feelings in a way that will not make them defensive. And my 3 favorite questions, actually 6 favorite questions to stop conflict in its tracks. It's going to be phenomenal. How's it going? How's it going? Thank you for making this far. Huzzah for you. If you're hitting a point now where you're like, I want to practice this and I don't feel like I want to practice it with my partner or I don't have anyone to practice it with, come on over to one of the events. If that feels really helpful to you, come to one of my live events. It's a 3-day event. It's actually 2.5 days and they're not even full days. So I don't know that I should count it as that. But it's a weekend and it's not the full days on the weekends. And I teach you every single tool that you're learning here. I teach you it through a story. I send you into a breakout room where you practice it. You come back, you ask me questions. Every single minute of that weekend is me teaching. It's high value. If you miss 15 minutes because you're 15 minutes late, you just missed 15 minutes of content. I do not waste any time. So you'll see it's not that many hours for the weekend because I don't want to waste your time. I don't have time. I work 14 hours a day. I don't have time. If I'm going to give you a weekend, you better make it count. So I assume you are the same. Your time is just as valuable and I want to make it count. So if that sounds fun for you and you want to go get you a comeback, you want to have a comeback after a weekend, then come on over, baby. I want to meet you. Go to the link in the description. Otherwise, keep watching. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so he wanted me to share my feelings and he wanted me to be more open. And I finally did. And guess what? He got defensive. Okay, I was sharing my feelings the way he was asking me to share my feelings and he was getting defensive every time. And I was like, what is wrong? I'm doing what you told me to do. Why are you getting upset every time I tell you my feelings? That's because I was sharing my feelings in the way that most of us were taught to share our feelings. It was not the right way. I was saying, you hurt me. Here's evidence to prove I deserve to feel hurt. Now you fix it. Admit you did something wrong. Admit you hurt me. How are we going to feel like a team if I am treating you like my enemy? We're not. Yeah. And you know what sucks? And I say this a lot and it's, gosh, if you are dealing with somebody who has victim mindset, the greatest gift you can give them is being their villain. And they will force you to give them that gift whenever they need a villain. Because victim mindset people, they pull two kinds of people in their life, heroes and villains, and they will turn that hero into a villain as soon as they need a villain. And how do I know this? Because I did it. Because I did it to my husband, to my loved ones, because I watch my clients come into sessions and they are doing it to their loved ones. So a lot of us fall into victim mindset and we don't know it. And when we do that, our partners, doesn't matter how good they are to us, they will feel like villains to us. No matter how understanding, compassionate, kind, helpful, we will find a way to call them the villain, the bad guy. They're not thinking of us. They're not considering us. They're cutting us out. There's something. They don't care enough about us to realize what we wanted. Their behaviors aren't changing. We'll say all of these things and be blind to the things that they are doing because we are so afraid of not being the victim. Again, I freaking get it because I did it. So I went, okay. When I realized I was doing this, I went, okay, crap. What's the alternative? I get it. I don't want to be a victim, but how do I not? And here's the shift. I'm feeling this. Will you get curious about it with me? That's the intention. The intention of curiosity. I'm feeling hurt. Will you get curious about the hurt with me? That's not you're a hurtful person who hurt me. It's I'm feeling hurt. Will you get curious about it with me? My 3 favorite questions to do this with when you are in a space, when I am in a space that I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling really hurt, but maybe they didn't have that bad intention. 3 favorite questions. 1, that didn't feel good. What was your intention? 2, I'm feeling defensive. Can you share that another way? And 3, this is the one I use constantly. When you just said or did XYZ, I thought it meant that XYZ. Where were you really coming from? For instance, when you didn't ask me about my plans on Saturday and instead just assumed I would say yes to the thing, that made me feel like you didn't think I was busy. I didn't have anything going on. You didn't care enough about me to ask. But where were you actually coming from? I'm actually asking them to defend themselves. And it works in this case because I'm actually trying to understand their positive intention. I'm on their side. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I might have been right, but I'm saying I'm probably missing something. Those 3 are the primary 3 questions. That's when you're feeling hurt. But when you notice that they are feeling hurt, a fabulous way to start that is a flipped version of those 3 questions. So, ooh, that seems like it didn't feel good to hear. What did you think my intention was? 1, 2, it seems like you're feeling attacked. What did you just hear me say? 3, when I just said or did that, where did you think I was coming from? We have the 3 questions to stop conflict. That is one of the connection cards, which you can print out on a standard piece of paper and hang wherever you want. You want to print out multiple of those. We have the digital version of the connection cards, and you can put that on your fridge, on your coffee table, on your kitchen table. People love to have those right at the ready. One time, one issue. The reason for that is if you talk about more than one time, one issue, you will resolve no issues. The real reason we bring up the past is because we have a feeling right now in this moment that we do not feel like the other person understands or believes that we deserve to have. So what our brain does is runs back and goes, when did I feel this way before? That's right, that issue. And I deserved to feel it then. Even he knows, even she knows that I deserve to feel it then. So I pull that issue back here and they go, why are we talking about this again? Why can't we resolve this? Why can't we let this go? Because I don't think that you're going to believe that I deserve to feel what I feel right now. So I'm going to pull up my mountain of evidence that I do deserve to have this feeling. I did this with my husband around validating my feelings because I was like, you need to validate my feelings. I want to feel emotionally safe. And how I would teach him to do that was by going, see, you're not doing it. I keep asking you to validate my feelings. And then you do this, you like deflect or you get defensive or you totally shut down. And when you shut down, then I don't feel safe. So it's stupid because you did that last week and you did it the week before. And every time you did, and what I am doing in my head, I am showing him I deserve to feel this way. Look, Look how painful this is. Look at my hurt. Look at this mountain of evidence that I deserve to have this feeling. What he is hearing is, look at this mountain of evidence that you suck and that you are unable to make the change that I so want you to make. You're not capable. Oopsies. So when we realized that's what was happening, when I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing to you. Oh no. Well, okay, let's try something else. Even if we're talking about a cycle or a pattern or something you did a bunch or whatever, or something that reminds me of something from the past, stay here on this one time, one issue. That's the rule. And then pebble by pebble, boulder by boulder, we build a new mountain of evidence that he can change. And vice versa, that I can change. And this works when it comes to walking the dogs or doing the dishes or literally betrayal. I work with couples around this, around massive issues, and this is how we do it. We rebuild trust one time, one issue at a time. And we build a new mountain. This saves you from doing something that happens a lot. This is how you check yourselves. Because when somebody brings up the past, the response is, that's valid. Let's actually talk about that once we finish this one time, one issue. Because what often happens is, let's use Bob and Sally. Let's say this, and let me tell you what I mean, because sometimes the past comes up in sneaky ways. Sally brings up an issue, okay? And she's talking about it, and Bob is seething, and he's getting upset. And finally he goes, well, you know what? You deserve it. Well, you know what? It's for a really good reason. It's good reason that I'm upset. It's a good reason that I treat you like that. It's a good reason that it's another flavor of, you made me yell at you. You made me be this way. You made me. You caused me so much pain for so long. Of course I'm mad now. Of course I'm mean now. You deserve for me to hurt you. This is a terrible thing to get caught in. Because once you're there, oh, that feels so good. It feels so good. We've all been there a little, you know? It feels good, that righteous anger, that like, you know what? I deserve to be mad at you and you deserve for me to be mad at you. And you don't even realize. You're so focused on getting them to be the villain that you don't realize that you're making it impossible for them to be your friend. If you want them to earn your trust again, instead of being like, you deserve for me to have done that awful thing to you because you did awful things to me, the response is actually, that hurts. I did just do an awful thing to you. This is what you're feeling. This is why it makes sense. And it reminds me of something that you did to me. I'd really like to talk about that next. That is how you actually address it. I'm not telling you to sweep your pain under the rug. That cycle is sweeping both of your pain under the rug. That's not helping anything. In the workbook, this is a little more color on the mirror game and how to play it. One time, one issue. And remember, if the past comes up, if another issue comes up, if you want to talk about something else, that's valid. Let's talk about this first and then address that. All right, after the last lesson, I am sure some of you are like, but how do I hold them accountable? Be accountable. How am I going to make sure that they are accountable? Because accountability matters. Accountability does matter. And has the way you've been doing it made them accountable? Has it? I mean, if it has, then keep rocking. I'm guessing it hasn't. Because blame does not create accountability. Saying you hurt me, here's proof, now fix it, does not create accountability. It creates shame. And shame makes you hide, defend, or look for someone else to blame. Because blame doesn't get you connection. If I admit I'm the villain, if you're right, I am the bad guy, that doesn't get me connection. That makes you go, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't trust you. Good. I'm glad you admitted it. That sucks for everybody. What actually creates accountability is the mirror game. Because what we need when we have a lot of pain is we need the other person to understand and really empathize with the pain that we have and understand our positive intention. We need the other person to see our pain, really understand how it feels. We want them to see why that pain is valid. And we want them to see our underlying positive intention. Those are the three things we need from people. And that's what creates accountability. When somebody understands the pain that they've caused you, that's when you actually trust that their change might stick. Because sometimes they will make changes and you'll be like, who knows how long this lasts? Unless you feel like they really understand your pain. That is so essential, that deep understanding. And one of the things, this is key, we threw this in there in the workbook as well. Reflecting the feeling is not always just saying back what feeling they are feeling. Sometimes that feels hollow or parroted. And one of the most effective ways to actually do that is by saying, you felt that way before, here's an instance. So for instance, the speaker can say, I told you I needed help. You didn't respond for several hours. It made me feel like you don't care about me. And then the listener can respond with, oh, you felt let down and like I didn't care about you. From your perspective, you asked me for help and then I just totally ignored you. I didn't show up for you. That sucks. I know that feeling. You felt like I was letting you down the same way that my mom always let me down. And when she did that, it made me feel stupid for even trusting her, for even asking for help. Is that how you're feeling? That story of when I felt that way because of something someone else did is really helpful and one of the fastest ways to make somebody feel understood. To go, listen, and then say, oh, you felt like this. You know, that sounds like, and it's a very short story. I'm not saying take up more time. Saying this way, it feels like, oh yeah, you do empathize. You've been where I've been, where I'm at before. That is really helpful. Another way you can do that is with an analogy. You could say something like, oh, you feel like I'm asking you to read my mind. So it feels like you're shooting an arrow at the dark at a moving target. That's something one of my clients said recently. And I said, dang girl, that's very beautiful. And I'm going to use it. Now I have used it. Hello. If you want somebody to feel super safe around you and like they will share everything with you because they trust you so much. They feel so emotionally safe. You want that like electric, beautiful, free feeling. This is how. I just figured out this analogy and it's so freaking good. Okay. Listen up. Your loved one is in a car. They drive that car, accidentally, something happens, into water. Oh no, the car is sinking in water. They can't get out. You dive in after them. I'm going to save you. I love you. I'm going to save you. You dive in after them. You grab the door handle and you are shaking it. You're using your whole body weight. You're trying to get it out. It's not working. Of course it's not working because that's not how it works. The only way to open that door is if the pressure is equal. The water outside the car and the water inside the car has to equal, which means two things have to happen in order to save this person you love. They have to crack open the window. Which sounds like, hey, I'm feeling really scared. I'm feeling really frustrated. I'm feeling really something. Will you get curious about it with me? Maybe not even that sentence. Maybe just, I'm feeling really something. And what we do is we go, no, the water is the problem. And when they crack open that window, we throw our body on top of the crack and we go, no. No, don't feel bad. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel upset. Don't feel hurt. Don't feel mad. You shouldn't feel hurt because I didn't mean to hurt you. You shouldn't feel bad because they didn't mean to hurt you. It's not that big of a deal. We are putting our body on top of that crack and not letting any water in. It feels like we're helping and we're putting so much effort and we're getting so exhausted and it's not working. Because the second thing that needs to happen is water needs to get in the car. If they crack that window and some water comes in, it sounds like, from us, our side, it sounds like, ooh, you're feeling sad. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Tell me more. Oh, you're frustrated. Of course, yeah, tell me more. What am I missing? It's saying, here's what you're feeling. Here's what I'm hearing you say about that feeling. What am I missing? And they will discover things that they hadn't said in the first place, because they're going to get safer and safer and safer as that water raises in the car. And it's scary because they don't want to wallow in their feeling. They're afraid their feeling doesn't matter. They're afraid, oh, I shouldn't let any more water in. Now, clearly the water's a problem. And we are so used to trying to block water out that we are keeping the water out. What they really need is just let the window down, let the water in, and we are there. And slowly but surely that water will come up. And once there's enough water inside the car that it matches the pressure outside of the car, guess what? The door opens easily. We tend to dive into problems and issues seeking solutions. We're either dismissing the feeling completely, or we're like, well, maybe we could do this next time. Or do you just need a nap? Maybe you should just go do this. Maybe you should just do that. No, that's shaking the door handle. The first thing we have to do is let water in the car. Acknowledge and validate the feeling that they have. If we're shaking the door handle, we're wasting energy and we're making them feel even more aware of how isolated they are. But saying, this is what you're feeling. This is what it seems like you're feeling. This is what I'm hearing you say. What am I missing? The water levels up. The door can easily open once they feel truly accepted, validated, and understood, which requires them to crack open the window and let water in, but it requires us to let water in too. Then they can just open the door and we will float to the top together. Solutions come so easily when you start with understanding each other's feelings. And so many people try to skip over the feelings because they don't want to waste time and they think that they don't matter and we don't want to talk about it for too long. And it is the most effective way to use your time, because nothing that you try to do before that point is going to be very helpful at all. It's probably going to be counterproductive. So when I say, don't seek solutions until you have understanding, this is what I mean. And you could also hear in this story, I aggressively hate, blame. It doesn't help anything. Figuring out who got the car in the water, figuring out who should have done what, it doesn't help anybody get out. What helps is letting water in the car. Really accepting how the other person feels, really holding them in that feeling, and then you will naturally float up. The most frustrating part about it is how simple it is, and when you actually start doing it, how easy it is. It feels wrong. It feels wrong for it to be that easy to help somebody feel better. Their feeling, even if they're blaming you for that feeling, is not yours to fix. Their feeling is not your failure. Even the most aggressive ones, frustration, anger, all of that, that's not yours to fix. It is not your failure. The most you can do is allow them to feel that. Understand it. Be curious about it. And then swim with them up to the top when they're ready. You cannot choose your first response, but you can choose your second one. That's what the mulligan system is all about. A mulligan system, a try again system, a do-over system, whatever you decide to call it. It is really, really helpful. Whatever relationship you're using this information for, I'm going to yet again use the partnership thing. If you and your partner decide to have a mulligan system, it is really helpful. If you both decide, you know what, I'm going to believe you have positive intention and sometimes you screw up. And you're going to believe I have positive intention and sometimes I screw up. Then you get to just ask for a do-over and it's awesome. My husband loves cars. Loves them, loves cars, loves showing me cars. And sometimes when he shows me a car and I'm stressed out, my response is, what? Wait, what? Where are we going to put that? You said this car is from 1962 and it is a 2-door. We have a baby. We need a 4-door. We already have we don't have room. We live in a city. We don't have room for another car. Where are we going to put this thing? And he just shuts down because I thought we were deciding. He was just dreaming. He wanted to play on a playground with his best friend and talk about the thing he loves and dream about it. And I was like, swings are dangerous. Get down from there. So we need to do a mulligan. We need a do-over. One of my clients asks her husband, are we dreaming or are we deciding? And that helps her know which angle to go with. But back to the mulligan system. So with my husband, I did that. I said, I started to go down that rabbit hole and I saw him start to shut down. I went, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. You were just getting excited. And I let my stressed out day get in the way and make me think, oh, we're deciding if we're buying this car or not. Can I try again? And he's like, yeah. Okay, fine. And goes, here's the car. It's really cool. I'm like, okay. So the car is really cool. What's exciting about it? Is it the engine? Is it the whatever? And I start to reflect back what I did pick up from what he said. And slowly he warms up and then we're talking about the car in a fun way. And I'm giving you that example specifically because you did burn the bridge, but you didn't burn it down. So sometimes you'll ask for a do-over and they're not going to be thrilled because they just got hurt. Because, and I'm using this example too, because the vulnerability is not just limited to pain and heartache and hurt. It's also super vulnerable to be happy, to be excited, to be hopeful. Those things are terrifying to feel too because you might lose them, because somebody might call you stupid for having those feelings. A lot of people, especially men, a lot of women too, were taught to feel pretty dumb for hoping for good things, for being excited for what's to come. They were taught that's stupid. You should have known better. Keep your expectations low. And so when they dare to be excited with you, if you respond the way I did, it guts them. It's an honor to be invited into somebody's excitement. And even if I'm not naturally excited or I'm not matching it, I can at least appreciate it and be like, oh man, I'm so tired right now, but I love that you're showing me this. It's a very healing experience. So mulligan system, excitement. Those things are powerful. Also, if you don't know what a mulligan is, side note, if you don't know what a mulligan is, I don't play golf, but this is a very fun word. And so it has stuck in my brain, which is if you do a swing and a golf swing and it's very bad, you just call it a mulligan and try again as if it never happened. And that's why I call it a mulligan system. Okay, what if you're doing the mirror game and it's still not working? It's not working. You're doing it all right. You're talking about feelings. You're saying what they're feeling. You're reflecting why it makes sense. And then you're asking what's missing and it's not working. They just keep going and keep going. They keep being angry. And it seems like no matter how much you reflect, no matter how much you understand, they are not going to understand you. It's not about you. That is how you know it is time to take a time out. And in that time out, we are going to regulate, not ruminate. For instance, last week I had the baby. I really needed to take a shower and I really wanted to go to bed. Dan, my husband, working on the couch. There's a little spot next to him. I was like, perfect. Let me just snuggle the baby in right next to you. You got him. Okay, I'm going to go take a shower. I run up to take a shower. I take a nice long shower and I'm watching YouTube while I'm brushing my teeth. And I'm like, this is amazing. Oh my God, what a beautiful time. I love this. And then I just lay down in bed and I'm like, oh, this is great. An hour goes by, maybe a little over an hour. And I'm like, where is he? Whatever. This is great. I'll see him soon. And then finally, he walks into the bedroom carrying the baby and he is fuming. And I go, uh-oh. Where were you? And he goes, I was with the baby. And I went, yeah. He's like, yeah, I was with the baby because you told me I had to sit there with the baby. And I was like, no, I didn't. You were sitting there working, so I put the baby by you. He was like, no, I was about to get up and then you trapped me on the couch with the baby. And I was like, when are you coming down? And I was like, I wasn't going to come back down. I was waiting for you to come up. Why were you staying down there? He's like, because you put the baby on me. And I was like, but you could pick the baby up. And then I realized, oh, we're getting caught in facts and story. And now we're spiraling into a fight. I go, okay, hold on. What are you feeling? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, it just seems like you're feeling really frustrated, which makes sense because I think from your perspective, I put the baby down on you and you thought I was saying you have to stay here with the baby until I come and get the baby. And then I never came. He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. What am I still missing? He's like, well, I mean, you usually text me. You usually say, hey, where are you? And you didn't do that. So then I thought you were definitely coming to get the baby. I was like, oh, yeah. I was having a good time up here and I just was waiting for you. I didn't even think to text today. He's like, okay. And I was like, which made you feel? I'm giving you this example because sometimes you put your own perspective in there and then you're like, oh yeah, I gotta remind you their feeling. Got it. I was like, so that made you feel really like neglected and like I didn't care. He was like, yeah. I went, okay, can I tell you where I was coming from? And he went, fine. I said, I put the baby by you because I thought you were working on the couch. I needed to shower. He was asleep and I didn't want to wake him up. So I thought, oh, he'll stay asleep here. And then if you wanted to come up, you could just pick him up, bring him upstairs and put him in his bassinet. And he goes, oh, okay. I go, will you tell me what you just heard me say? And he reflects back and I'm like, yeah, and we're good. And then 5 minutes later, he's pissed again. And I'm like, do you feel like I didn't understand you? And he goes, no, I think you understood me. And I was like, okay. Then I don't think this is about the baby. Something else is going on here. And he went, okay. And that's how we take a timeout. We say, I don't think this is about the thing anymore. And the other person goes, okay. And that means we're taking a timeout. We're going to sit there and figure out, we're going to take care of ourselves for a while and then come back together. I have clients who say, we can do this because that's our short version. Because when you're first learning to take a time out with each other, you have to do two very important things. One, promise to return to the conversation. And two, state your positive intent for the timeout. So that often sounds like, oh, I don't think I can be loving right now. I'm going to be back in 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like that. It sounds very aggressive. Usually it's like, I cannot be very loving right now. I'm going to come back in 15 minutes. My nervous system has gone totally haywire. Give me an hour. I'll be back. Often it sounds like that. Because we've done timeouts so many times, and for my clients, this often happens too. We both know we're coming back to the conversation. And we both know the reason is because we want to show up better. And also, sometimes it's boundaries. I'm like, I don't think this is about this. And he went, yeah. And then we were in bed together. He thought about it for 15 minutes. He rolls over and he was like, it kind of made me feel like I did when I was a kid and my parents promised me something and then took it away. And I went, that makes sense. Okay. And then we talked about that. And that is not unique to us. You might hear that and go, well, your partner is really emotionally mature. My partner did not know any of this. I mean, he did not. When we had an issue and I was like, hey, I think something deeper is here. When we first started figuring this out, he was like, no, there's not. And then we had to start doing scene and start regulating. And that's what I'm about to teach you. If you're like, okay, how do we make timeouts actually helpful? That's what we're about to go into. Because what we often do when we take a timeout, when we take time out from the conversation, is we just ruminate and we go on and on and on in our heads like, what the heck? You know what? He isn't bad. And it is valid that I'm mad because he really didn't consider me and he never considers me and he should, but he doesn't. And I know that he doesn't because of this and this and this and this. And you know what? I'm going to tell my friend about this because I think she knows what it feels like to be like this and it sucks. And he doesn't get it. And vice versa. She always criticizes me. She doesn't understand. She never does what I tell her to do and I ask her to help me and then she doesn't help me and she totally leaves me high and dry and that's so frustrating. So of course I'm mad right now. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. Maybe we should just get a divorce. That's not regulating an emotion. That's ruminating in it. It's different. I'm about to show you how to regulate your emotions and it is freaking fire. I can't wait to see you there. And I want you to take something away from this timeout. If blame is present, a timeout is necessary. If blame is present, you got to have boundaries. No blame. No blame. Seek solutions, not blame, and seek understanding before solutions. Okay, I will see you in the next one. It is freaking fire. It's going to be good. Hello, hey, hi. You are in it. You just learned about timeouts. Such powerful stuff. The pause, the power of the pause. Come on. If you want to learn in person, I'm popping in again to let you know. I have 3-day events where I teach these to you hands-on. So I teach you the same tools you're learning here, but I'm guiding you. Then you go into a breakout room, you practice, you come back, you ask me questions, you tell me what you ran into. So we can customize this to you. If you want to come spend a weekend with me, live and virtual, then go to the link in the description. Although this video will live on, and in that link in the description, we may also have an option for a live event. We may have more options. I don't know. If you want to work with me, get saucy. Look at the link in the description. Okay, keep going. Keep going. You're doing great. This is how you make your partner feel emotionally safe. Everything we just learned, the mirror game, is how you make your partner feel emotionally safe. When your partner says that they're feeling anything, they're upset, whatever, if you say, this is the bonus, okay? Take this. I'm so glad you told me. Oh, if you start with, I'm so glad you told me. Oh, that's juicy. That feels so good. Because half of the reason that we fight is that we're fighting with ourselves. Like, oh God, should I even bring this up? Is he going to be pissed? Is she going to be pissed? Is it going to say the wrong thing? Maybe I'm doing that. It's like all this overthinking. And if the first reaction to you sharing your feelings is me saying, I'm so glad you told me that. What a relief. Now you don't have to fight me. Now you know you don't have to fight me. Amazing. Okay, great. But then what? Then you do exactly the mirror game. You say, okay, so this is what you're feeling. This is why that makes sense. Bonus points if you can do what I said earlier about saying, I felt that way too. I think you feel the way that I do when my mom does that to me. I hate that I made you feel that way. This is what you're feeling. This is why it makes sense. What am I missing? And then listen and then repeat again. This is what you're feeling. This is why it makes sense. What am I missing? Do that until they say that they feel understood. If you're like, I don't think you're missing anything. Boom, baby. You have just made your partner feel emotionally safe. That's part 1, and it is the biggest part. But you can shoot that down and ruin it entirely if you don't also do this, and this is fabulous. This is so powerful. Never use that against them. If you promise and you stick to this promise of never, my husband and I do this. We made a deal very early on. We say it out loud. I will never use your vulnerability against you. If you're insecure about something, if you tell me something, if you say something hurt you, I will never make fun of the fact that it hurt you. I will never call you too sensitive because it hurt you. I will never bring it up in front of other people if I know that that's something that's going to hurt you. If I promise to never use what you tell me against you deliberately, then you will feel more emotionally safe around me than you have anywhere else. And I feel more emotionally safe around my husband than I do anywhere else. I am a runner, okay? I want to run. That was my thing. I would do my best to be the person that I thought you wanted me to be, and I would make you feel so loved and seen and all of this stuff. And then I would get drained. I would suddenly have a need or an emotion. I would go, oh, that's for me to take care of. And then maybe I'll come back. Maybe I won't once it's taken care of. And I would just like isolate and take care of it. And maybe I'd come back. Most of the time, at some point, I wouldn't. And I'd end the relationship and it surprised the crap out of them. And I thought I was being kind and I thought I was being thoughtful. I was actually being a people pleaser, which we are going to get into in the needs section. And I will dive into that more. I will tell this story in more depth. So juicy suspense hook there. All that to say, I'm a runner. I didn't feel emotionally safe around anyone. But doing this, my husband doing the mirror game with me, my husband never using anything against me never using anything against my husband. When I want to run, I take a deep breath and I turn towards him instead. And boy, oh boy, that is easy to do now. I rarely, if ever, have that impulse to run because he is the place that I belong. We didn't start that way. We built that. He didn't just feel like home. He wasn't love at first sight and all that other bullshit that people say. Butterflies are often the trauma tingles, okay? For some people, that their person does end up being your home. For me, we did not start out feeling that way. No one felt emotionally safe, even if they did feel like home. But he built that safety with me. We built that safety together. And now when I am scared, when I am hurt, when I am overwhelmed, when I am feeling anything, He is where I turn, and I am where he turns. We built that. That was not always the case. It's buildable, baby. I believe so wholeheartedly in our ability and your ability to build that because it's human. It's why we're here together. It's how we're pack animals. It's the ones of us that survived were not the ones that were the loners. Those bad boys died. Okay? Because the ones of us that evolved were the ones that could work together. So we do need to turn into each other for emotional safety, and we can learn how to do that. That's why you may, at some point during this, have gone, that's too simple to be right. There's no way it's that simple. Yeah, it is. You know why? You know why? Because it's meant to be. We're made for this stuff. That's why when you try the mirror game and you're doing it and you're really letting yourself do it, it feels so good. It feels so good, like it's what you were meant to do, because it is what you were meant to do, to really feel understood, to really understand, to be the emotionally safe place for your people. And I use your partner a lot in this because it makes it much clearer cut to just use that as an example. But I also did this with my parents. We didn't have a great relationship. Now we do. I also did this. I do this with everybody. I have adult children and their parents work on this and do this together. This is not just a partnership thing. This is everywhere. I even work with corporations and I give speeches about this, and they use this in their work where it's, all right, seeking to understand first, actually addressing feelings first. This feels so good. It makes us become a team. It makes us emotionally safe. So if you want somebody to feel emotionally safe, that's how you do it. And it is as simple as it sounds. This is the video you need to watch the most. This is the video that if you're going to watch no video except for one, this is the one, okay? If we all understood this, the entire world would change. And I'm about to free you from this cage of loneliness and misunderstanding where you feel like the person who should understand you the most understands you the least. Feeling misunderstood by that person. Let me free you from that. We only get defensive when someone who should care about understanding us cares more about us understanding them. The problem is, both people feel this way. Both people think that the other person should understand them first. Like, I think my husband should have compassion for me and be curious towards me because look at me. Look how much I'm doing and how much I'm giving and how much I'm caring and how exhausted I am. I am pouring every ounce of myself out, and you still are not understanding me. You're asking me to understand you. And then my husband on the other side of this thinks the same thing. He's like, well, if you would only stop feeling for a second and understand how much I'm trying and how much I'm doing, then I wouldn't be so upset. Right? My husband is saying that. If I only understood how hard he was trying, how much he's doing and how much he's giving, then I wouldn't be upset. I couldn't be upset at him if I knew how much he was giving. And I'm like, you couldn't be upset at me if you understood how much I'm giving. When I start a conversation with him by wanting him to be curious with me, my words will come out as an attack. When I start a conversation fighting to get understood, my words will come out as an attack, and I will wonder why I don't feel loved. Conflict is fighting to be understood. Connection is fighting to understand. Here's what I mean. Connection is a 3-step process. It is the exact opposite order of what we think it is, of what we were taught it is. Step 1 is giving compassionate curiosity to myself. You know why I'm spiraling out and why I'm pouring out of myself and I'm totally empty and I have like, somebody give me a break. Will somebody give me a break? I'm exhausted and I'm trying and I'm doing all the things. Will you just give me a break? Just understand me, see me. Can't you see how much I'm hurting? Why don't you see that? That is how it feels. Because we're not giving it to ourselves. The person we're yelling at first and foremost, even though we don't even realize it, is ourselves. I'm yelling at myself. And if I do not give myself compassionate curiosity first, then even if my husband tries to give it to me, it won't land. I am a cup with a hole in it. And he can pour into me. And it will feel so good if he does it exactly right. And then I'll feel crappy again. And I will think it's because he's not pouring into me enough. And the truth is, it's because I've never repaired the hole. And the way you repair the hole in the moment that I get triggered is actually rebuilding the trust with myself. It's looking at myself. It's turning to myself and going, oh, right. If I'm having a big emotional reaction, if I am saying words like, you're doing this to me, you're making me feel this way, you are the problem, anything that is blamey, that means I don't think I have choice. And if I don't think I have choice, hello, welcome to a trauma response. That's not a mature adult response. That's me turning into a kid again. Thank goodness. We do not uncover triggers to avoid them. We uncover triggers to heal them. And the first step of healing them is the same as the first step of connection. And it is giving compassionate curiosity to myself. The 3-step process for connection is number 1, giving compassionate curiosity to myself, recognizing I'm having a big emotion. And instead of, you hurt me, here's proof that I deserve to feel hurt. Now fix it. That won't work. Instead, ooh, I'm feeling something. Getting curious with myself. What am I feeling? That's when the scene questions are powerful. What am I scared of? Where did I learn to have this big of a fear? Where did I learn to be shamed about this? Where did I learn to have this expectation? Where did I learn to have this need? That's where we start. Step 1 is compassionate curiosity to myself. Step 2, and now this is going to confuse you for a sec, is giving compassionate curiosity to my partner. There are 2 ways you could do that. One is you can straight up play the mirror game and ask for their perspective and really try to understand where they're coming from. 2 is the 3 big questions that I teach you, which is, that didn't feel good. What was your intention? I'm feeling defensive. Can you share that another way? Or, when you just said that, I thought you meant this. Where were you coming from? Those 3 questions give your brain the opportunity that what I'm saying there, if you can hear it, is I am compassionate curiosity about myself. I'm going, oh, this is my perspective. I wonder if I saw that the way that they meant it. I wonder. I had a big reaction. I wonder what's actually going on here. And then turning to them and giving them compassionate curiosity. Being like, all right, this is how it landed. Where were you coming from? Now, when you hear that, you might be like, excuse me, but they hurt me. Why would I give them compassionate curiosity first? That's not fair. That's not right. Let me tell you the self-centered reason that you give them compassionate curiosity first. The good for you reason, not good for them reason, is that's how you know if you're in this space to even receive what you're trying to get. Because if I can't be compassionately curious about them, then I will not be able to get connection because I have walls up. I'm saying, prove it to me. Prove to me you love me. Prove to me you care about me. Prove to me that I matter. Prove it to me. No one can do that. No one can do that except for myself. They can help me do that, but no one can do it for me. And we've been taught through all of these like hero stories where somebody rescues you that love is the answer, that if the other person loves you enough, then maybe you'll be forced to finally allow yourself to be loved, to feel good enough. It's not how it works though. So step 1, give compassionate curiosity to yourself. Step 2, give compassionate curiosity to your partner. And step 3 is ask for compassionate curiosity from your partner. Now, when I'm like, hey, that's not how I experienced it. Are you down to get curious about that with me? I'm feeling this. Are you down to get curious about that with me? Like, that's where the juice is. Now, this is when I get really excited. If you go through the rest of these videos, if you do this class, if you really think through that lens, then what you are doing is embracing the fact that you're freaking human and we are relational. Healing is something no one can do for us. No one can do step 1 for us. No one can love us hard enough that we will finally allow ourselves to be loved. And also, healing is something we can't do alone. We're relational creatures. People have impacts on us. People have an impact on us. Let's use that for good and say, hey, okay, I gave myself compassionate curiosity. You know what? I'm afraid that you don't care about me. When you don't do the thing I asked you to do, I'm afraid that means that you don't care about me. I want to prove that wrong, because underneath that is I'm afraid I'm not worthy of being cared for. Will you help me with that? That's where the juice is, baby. It's where the juice is. But most people start at step 3. We start at step 3 and our words come out as an attack because we're starting with, see me, hear me. Why don't you understand me? What's wrong with you? And when we start up at step 3, we will weaponize the scene method. You will weaponize the scene questions. You will go, I'm scared of you because you're scary, because you don't care about me. I'm scared you don't care about me. I'm scared you don't, fill in the blank, because you don't. I'm embarrassed because you're embarrassing. I'm embarrassed because you think I'm embarrassing. Second E, expecting. I'm expecting things of you because of course I am. You should be a better person. That's what a good partner does. That's the principle of the thing. I have needs, and of course I'm upset because you refuse to meet them. What's wrong with you? Why won't you listen to me? Why won't you understand what I need? Why won't you meet my needs? Do you hear? Do you see this? Do you see this? How can somebody connect to me? How can I connect to somebody if I am trying to convince them that they're my villain? How are we going to feel like we're on the same team? And how am I ever going to feel empowered if I'm acting like you control me? If I'm acting like you control my feelings, you control my fears, you have to prove it wrong. You have to make me feel good. You have to do it all. If I'm saying a bunch of you statements, that's how I know, oh, I need to go deeper. And that's why when you do the companion workbook, when you do the exercises, when we're in the classes, what I take you through is the deeper truth that happened way before you got together with your partner. I'm scared you don't care about me because I learned that maybe I'm not worthy of being cared for. I'm embarrassed because you're seeing me do this thing badly. And I was taught that I'm going to get shamed and rejected if you see me in progress and not perfection. So if you see me imperfect, I'm going to lash out and push you away. But that's really why I'm embarrassed. I want to prove that wrong. First, turning to myself and be like, babe, win or learn. And then turning to you and be like, I'm terrified you're going to watch me do this badly and reject me. Can you prove me wrong? Can you stick with me and help me prove that belief wrong? Expecting. I have an expectation of you. I expected that you would respond to this the exact same way that I would. And when you didn't, I thought that meant you were a bad person or you didn't care about me, but maybe it just meant you were a different person. What was your expectation? Where did that come from? What do you believe? What do we want to choose together? Because all of our expectations were taught to us early on. We didn't get to choose that. We didn't get to choose it. And I have needs. And I'm so ashamed of them. So of course I'm lashing out at you. I'm ashamed that I need this thing or that I want this thing, so I need to make it your fault. Versus, okay, I have this need and I'm afraid to do what it takes to take care of it myself. So I'd rather blame you for me not getting it met. Can you help me take care of myself? Healing healthy relationship is far more about helping the other person care for themselves than it is about caring for the other person. I can make you lunch. You have to choose to eat it. I can give you time to rest. You have to choose to use that time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh. Okay. If you watch every other video once, watch this one over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you will hear something you did not hear the first time you watched it. This matters so much to me because I hear, and I've been there, and I fall back there. I hate it when I do. You are not supposed to live this life alone. And right now, the first person who is leaving you alone is yourself. When we start with step 3, when we start with asking the other person to be compassionately curious to us, to understand us, that is us abandoning ourselves. That is me saying, if you could just understand me, then I'd be fine. As if I've got no power, as if I don't have a role to play, as if abandoning myself is the prerequisite for being connected. Like, all right, I'll sacrifice me, but you better not sacrifice me too. And when I do that, my husband will say 99% of the right things. And the 1% wrong thing he says, I'm like, see, that one was true. You said that. And I think that's what you actually meant. All the other stuff was fluff. You were trying to manipulate me. But that sentence where you said something that made me think you may not care about me, that's it. Where you might be judging me, that's it. Where you think I'm not doing enough, that's it. Like we will grab onto whatever our brain's already telling us. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, compassionate curiosity towards yourself. That's where the scene questions come in. Use the workbook, find the deeper truth. Step 2, compassionate curiosity towards your partner. Sometimes that's the mirror game, and sometimes that's simply acknowledging that they have a different perspective when you ask to get understood. Like, you know what? I think that I don't understand yours, and I'm excited to find out where you're coming from because you probably have a good intention. Step 3 is asking for compassionate curiosity from them, which is, I'm feeling something. Will you get curious about it with me? And then guiding them through the mirror game, which if you got to be in the class, one of the classes where I do it with my husband, you will see how to do it with somebody who doesn't even know what the mirror game is. He knows now, but I really try not to train him in it or teach him like I teach the people in my class because I want him to be an incredible example of like madly in love with my partner who doesn't do all of this class stuff and doesn't follow, but can make me feel understood, in large part because I start the whole dang process by understanding myself and then understanding him. Okay, I hope that helps. Have a fabulous day. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I hate this piece of advice so much that I'm making a literal lesson on it. Okay, because I see this online and it's this very popular relationship question where your partner comes home and they're frustrated and they're having a bad day or whatever. And then you say, do you want me to listen or do you want advice? Do you want advice or do you want me to just listen? And you are a problem solver and it's very hard to just listen. So you just shut up and you kind of sit there and you listen. You're like, all right, I guess I'm just listening. And your partner starts to spiral out and feel really weird because you're just being really weird and silent. But then when you do talk, you're just problem solving again. So now it's like, I can't win. If I talk, you're going to be upset. But if I listen, you're going to be upset. What the hell am I supposed to do? I get it, baby. I'm a problem solver too. Okay, I did it too. And then this is why this lesson is in the mirror game section. Guess what? Mirror game. That is the answer. Instead of asking, do you want me to just listen or do you want advice? Ask, are you asking for advice or do you want me to get curious about this with you? Which, if you say listen, you can still say listen, but know that it means, oh, I'm getting curious about this with them. Because you know what sucks? If I say, hey, I've got this problem that I'm really thinking about. And then you go, oh, no worries. I've got the solution. What you just said to me is, after 1 minute of me telling you something, you know all you need to know and you can solve it for me. Even though I've been spending hours, days, weeks, months, maybe even years on this problem, you don't need any of that information. You're so much smarter than me that you can take it and figure it out. Oh, God. When I realized that that's how I was making people feel, I'm like, dang it. But I love to give advice. I thought I was being helpful. I'm just proving that I'm valuable. That's what I'm really doing. When I'm giving you advice, I just want to feel valuable to you. I want to be useful to you. I'm not trying to make you feel stupid. I'm trying to make you feel like I matter. That's what's really going on. So I went, okay, okay, let's try this thing. And by golly, it's fabulous because when I started to do this mirror game thing with people when they told me their problems, so they'd say, this is what's going on. Here's the problem. I go, oh, it sounds like you're really feeling frustrated. Tell me more. What else am I missing? Oh, of course you're feeling frustrated because your boss is like this and this is what you've tried already. So yeah, what am I missing? Oh, and you're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place here because on one hand you have this, on the other hand you have this. Yeah, I've been there. My boss in my last job treated me that way too. It sucks. What am I missing? If you just mirror game when somebody's in pain, what you are saying to them subconsciously is, you got this. I believe that you got this. And I'm here to cheer you on while you got this. I'm listening. I'm hearing it out. I'm not saying never give advice, but if somebody isn't specifically asking you for advice,
this is the best way to help them find the advice that actually fits them and to make them fall so in love with you because you are making them feel so seen and so heard. And if you do actually have great advice and you do actually really understand where they're coming from, fabulous. You're going to be able to mirror game even better because you're going to have been where they are and they will listen to your advice when it comes from your story of I went through something similar and here's what I did. I don't know if it'll work for you. What do you think? What am I missing? And then they get to own the solution. And now you don't have to do that thing that sucks when somebody, you're like, I gave you advice. You said you would take it. You didn't do it. Oh my gosh, it's infuriating. Why? That's why, because it wasn't their idea. They didn't have any ownership over it. If you really want somebody to take some advice, this is how you do it. It's such a cheat code. And again, works for work and works for parenting. Got a lot of parents who love to do this one, especially with teens. Solid. My husband is a grump and it drives me crazy. It drives me nuts because I'm like, baby, stop. Like he comes home from work and he's talking about how everybody's an idiot. And he swears at 6 inanimate objects before he leaves the house. The microwave, the stove, the door, the lock. Like, good. I mean, if you have sensitive ears, you don't need to hear the example, but it literally sounds like this. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. Just through the whole morning. And it's funny to talk about now, but man, in the moment, you're like, okay, I just woke up. Can we not do that right now? Can we calm down? I'm like, our baby is going to have our baby's first word is going to be a swear word at this point. Right. So I love him. Yeah, because he's not always a grump. He's also the man who starts a spontaneous dance party in the kitchen and his go-to move is smacking his own butt very dramatically and then posing like he's in a fitness calendar no one asked for. He's the man that leaves for work and some days he does it he says goodbye with a Julia Child accent. He's like, goodbye. And he does an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression out of nowhere about the most random things. He's the man who makes a game out of anything. I mean, I have laughed harder with this man than anyone else. And also, I have felt more on edge and triggered and dangerous. Like, oh God, with this man too. Because I am committed to him. And I decided not to run away, which means when he had weeks of bad moods, I was absolutely gutted and drained. And I was like, I can't do this. I need a break from you. Because I thought the problem was his mood, but I was wrong. The problem was that I thought it was my job to make him happy. So every time he was not happy, I felt like I was failing. I didn't feel like I deserved for him to not feel happy. So I would just drop everything and scramble to fix it. I would go overtime. I would be like, okay, let me just be extra thoughtful, pay extra attention, take extra care. Maybe if I'm just quieter in this area, more fun in this area, maybe I can make him laugh like this. Maybe I should. And everything would stop and I wouldn't feel like I was allowed to have my life again until he was back in a good mood. And that's exhausting. And that is the key difference that I see between people who are energized by their relationships and people who are drained by them. The people who are drained by them spend all of their energy trying to make each other happy. It doesn't work. Because it's not my job to make him happy. It's my job to love him even when he's not. And it's not his job to make me happy. It's his job to love me even when I'm not. And it took so long to get that, but thank goodness I was in a bad mood one day and I felt like I wasn't allowed to be. And he dropped everything in his life because it was my turn to be the grump. And he had dropped everything in his life and he was scrambling to make me happy. And I kept being like, just stop. Just stop. And he looked like a scared little kid and he was trying to make me happy. And I was like, ugh. And we walked into the gym that we go to together. And the coach goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "Pretty shitty." And the coach says, "That's okay." And the amount of relief I felt was a massive turning point. I went, "Oh, this is the next level of the mirror game." Right? In the mirror game, we are not agreeing. We are not taking on the other person's emotions. We're validating them. We're literally validating them. I'm not saying you're right, I'm wrong. I'm saying we look at this from a different perspective. I want to understand yours. If Dan comes home having a bad day, I can say, wow, we had different days. I want to understand yours. I want to understand where you're coming from. Simple as that. So when the coach said, that's okay, and I had that full body relief, that's when we clicked in. And that became one of our catchphrases. When one of us is upset, the other one often says, that's okay. You want to tell me about it? And then we talk about it, or we don't. Sometimes you don't want to talk about it yet. You're like, no, I want to chill out and stare into the void until I feel better. Sometimes you're like, I want to go for a run. Sometimes you're like, I would like to hate myself for a little longer and then I'll be okay. Because feelings do not last forever. There's research that says the lifespan of a feeling, and if you see a baby, you'll know this, it's only 90 seconds. If that feeling is accepted and validated, it lasts 90 seconds. Part of the reason emotions get so big is that we are fighting them so hard. We're like analyzing them and saying that they shouldn't be there and that I'm upset, but it's okay that I'm upset because, you really deserve for me to be upset, but maybe I shouldn't be upset. No, I deserve to be upset. It's like this whole thing. If you can just be like, I'm upset. And the other person goes, man, I'm glad you told me. Tell me more about that. Yeah, that makes sense. It feels good. As Carol Truman says, it's literally the title of her book, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. When we don't validate each other's feelings, the feeling doesn't go away. It festers, it rots. Time does not heal emotional wounds. It infects them. So allowing our partners to be grumpy, allowing our partners to be upset, not taking it personally, but instead being like, yeah, I've been there. I get it. Okay, let me try to understand your perspective. That is so healing. Real intimacy is not built through positivity. It's actually built through permission. It's built through your partner looking at you, really seeing you and going, I'm still here. I love you. And this is true in all kinds of relationships. This is true in a friendship, in a family relationship, in a working relationship. When somebody's really struggling and they're afraid to show you and they show you and you go, yeah, man, I get it. I struggle too. That actually shortens the struggle and lessens the pain. There's a beautiful line in Ted Lasso when they lose a game and everyone's very upset because the game was a very important game and everyone's sad. And Ted Lasso goes, everybody's sad here. And he's like, but there's something worse than being sad. And that's being sad and being alone. And no one here is alone. That is one of the greatest powers of a relationship. If you can do your best to promise each other, no one here is alone. And the way that you do that is the mirror game. It is reflecting the other person's feelings and saying, yeah, I get that. It makes sense. I felt that way too.
Hello, hey, hi, how you doing? Did you just learn about my husband being grumpy? Are you the grumpy partner or is your partner the grumpy partner? I want to know. Put it in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm popping in here to remind you that I can teach you in person if that's something that's you need. I would love that. I, in your shoes, would like that. So I created it for somebody who doesn't really want to spend their time diving into a book and kind of spaces out and needs to learn hands-on. I'm a hands-on learner. So I do a weekend where I hands-on learn. I teach you through a story. Every tool that you're learning here, I teach you there through a little story. And then we go into a breakout room. You practice it with somebody that it's safe to practice with. You come back, you ask me questions. And then we do it again. And then we do it again. And by the end of the weekend, you're like, I got this. Love it. Okay, if you want to go, link in description.
This is the video that you've been waiting for. This is the namesake. This is the reason the scene method became the scene method. This is the name, the reason for the name. I thought I was so good in controlling my anger, my frustration, my resentment, all my negative feelings. I was very good at controlling them until I got into a committed relationship. And then I was like, you are driving me to anger. You're putting me in the car. You are driving me there. And then you're turning to me and asking, why are you mad? You drove me. What are you talking about? You've been here the whole time. How do you not know? What is wrong with you? And that's what happens to all my couples that I work with too. It's so easy to get caught in that belief that because we got eyes, we're looking. We got two eyes looking out. And so when we have a feeling, we look and we go, well, whatever's around here must be causing it. And then we think that it's our partner, but it's not. They are stepping on a landmine. The thing with the landmines are, they probably didn't know it was there. And even if they did, they didn't put it there. That's the thing people get wrong about triggers. Triggers are not just a weirdly big emotional response to something that's happening right now. Like, I'm just activated right now because you're not being very kind to and soft to me. I'm just activated right now because you're judging. I'm activated right now because you're not supporting me, because you're not trustworthy, because you. No. If you're triggered, you are no longer an adult. A trigger is perceiving this moment right here, right now, as if it's one from the past that's very similar, where we did not have safety, control, or choice. For a lot of us, that's childhood. We didn't have a lot of choice in childhood. We didn't have a lot of control. And some people, a lot more than I wish this were true for, also didn't have safety. It can also be reflecting a moment in another relationship or even this relationship where you didn't have those three things. And what we'll do is we'll say, you're abandoning me. You're not being there for me. You're not whatever for me. And actually what's happening under it is I'm S, scared of something. I'm E, embarrassed about something. I'm E, expecting something of myself and of you or of you. Or I'm N, needing something that's going unmet. And often we don't know that we're scared of something. We're angry because that feels a lot safer than feeling scared. If you feel angry, anger is the emotion of control. If I get angry, I feel control again. I get control again. The angriest person in the room is probably the one that's got the control of the room. But underneath that, it's just a scared little kid who really wants somebody to see the pain, the struggle, the work that they're putting in. E, embarrassed. I don't want you to look at me. I'm whatever I was rejected for as a kid, I think I'm going to get rejected for as an adult, and I'm terrified that you're going to see it. So I'm pushing you away and yelling at you and assuming that you're judging me and acting like you're judging me and rejecting me because I'm afraid that you're going to. And that is what happens a lot. E, expectations, expecting. I expect something of me. I expect something of you. Maybe we never agreed on that. Maybe I never said that out loud. And usually we don't know what our expectations even are until we feel disappointed. And N, needs. Often we have shame around just having basic needs. We have shame around needing to rest. We have shame around needing to eat. We have shame around so many things. And then get into emotional needs. A lot of us, especially if you're the kind of person who's here working on stuff, probably has a lot of shame around your emotional needs too, because you're like, I shouldn't need anything from anyone. Other people need stuff from me. My role is to be there for them, but I shouldn't need anything from anyone. So you fight. I fought to not ask for anything and not need anything from anybody. And then that spirals out of control and then hurts the relationships. So if I ask myself those questions, what am I scared of? What am I embarrassed about? What was I expecting? What do I need? And if I force myself to figure out an answer to those, I end up finding something from my past that has nothing to do with the person standing in front of me. And that's really freaking helpful. So that is the overview, basic version of seen. But what if you're still saying you? What if you're still feeling blame? What if you're still feeling anger? What if you're still feeling resentment? You answer these questions, and instead of getting relief, you're just more frustrated. Well, then the truth has been hidden from you, my friend, and I am going to teach you how to.
My husband is a grown-up hero child. And what that means is when he was a kid, he did it all. He did everything. He could get it done. He did the things. He put on all of the tasks on his back. And when he starts to feel disconnected with me, what he does is more. And it's as if he's building a list of here's why I'm a better partner than you. And to his brain, it sounds like, here's why I'm a better partner than you. But what he's actually building is a list that says, here's why I deserve for you to love me, to pay attention to me, to be with me. Why? Why aren't you noticing this? And so he'll complain about being underappreciated, and he'll complain about how much he's doing, and he'll complain about all of this. And he'll, in that moment, think, I don't care enough, and I don't do enough, and I don't show up enough. And when I try to show up in those moments and do more, he gets mad at me. He says, I'm not doing it good enough. He says, I'm not noticing how he does it. I'm not, like, all of these little things that used to piss me off, because I was like, I am trying to help you, and you're literally pushing me out of the kitchen with your body and then yelling at me for not helping you in the kitchen. Why are you still like this? And then I realized that's his indicator that he needs me to be present with him, not do more, not be more like him, but be more present with him. So usually the traumas that you're like, we could be so much further if we weren't still working on this, actually are, these are your consistent red flag indicators that this person feels scared that you won't love them unless they use this trauma response. So in my fight with my husband, I said, this happened on our road trip down to Christmas. We were in this circular argument. We were talking for an hour, and I was just melting into my chair in despair, because I was like, you don't like me. You don't like me. You don't like me. All you're saying is that you don't like me. You don't want to, why would you even be with me? You clearly don't like me. And I said that. And then I realized, oh, hold on. And I did seen, SEEN. I turned to myself and I asked, okay, what am I scared might be true? I went, oh, I'm scared you don't like me. And this is the essential step this is the only way I could see him as a little kid. I turned to myself and I was like, okay, which part of me do I not like? Who is this kid screaming, you don't like me? And it was the little kid that got distracted and was called an airhead and was always involved in whatever thought was in my brain, ADHD queen over here, that everyone was so annoyed with, because I would forget, I'd be middle of doing a chore and then totally stop. And so I did this healing with myself in my mind for a second. And then I turned to Dan and I was like, I am so scared you don't like me that this conversation is just crushing me. And he goes, well, you just need to know I like you. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. I have to like me first, or you liking me will not get in. So I did that for myself. And then I go, you know what? And that freed me to realize, because I started to pay attention to myself, and I turned to that little girl in my head and I loved on her. And I was like, hey, what good are you trying to do for me? This part that I hate, this part that I think my husband is justified in hating, what good are you trying to do for me? And she, if you're a visual person and you imagine the parts of yourself and you've done parts work, you know exactly how unruly and trippy this is. And she went like this. She went, I'm your genius. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm your genius. And you keep trying to shove me out because you're calling me an airhead, but this is where you get all your thoughts. There would be no scene method if you couldn't hyperfixate. There would be no online platform if you didn't have this playful nature. The stuff that you think everyone hates you for is the stuff that made you who you are right now. Why won't you love it? Why won't you love me? And then I loved on her. And then I turned to him and I recognized all the hero child stuff I just told you. And I said, oh my God, you're doing your hero child thing. He was like, yeah. And then we're both getting emotional in the car. And we're like, oh my God. And I went, you know what? One person never treated me like that. One person never hated my airhead. That was my grandpa, who I just lost. And that happened. So I would drop everything as soon as I saw him and ran to him. And he just let me be me. And he delighted in me, no matter what version I was. He just looked at me like I was the best thing on the planet. And I said this to Dan. I said, my grandpa's truck would pull into our farm, and I would sprint down and jump in his truck. And then I just felt loved and accepted the whole time. And Dan goes, yeah, I don't get that part. I get the fixated on something else. I get the spitting out about another idea, but you're not giving me the run down to the truck and sit in the truck with me part. So you think I'm criticizing you for being who you are, but I'm actually just sad that I'm not getting to actually see who you are. You're giving it other places. And his thing was the hero child thing. So he was trying to earn that by doing more and getting madder and keeping score, which pushed me away. And that was our whole vicious cycle.
This one is foundational. I mean, seen is written in this order, not just because it spells seen, but because this is the order of things. This is the order of truth. This is the foundational level. S, scared. It is everything. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. Chris and Gina have been together for 5 years. They love each other so much. Chris is just enamored and in awe of Gina. Gina is just like, I never thought I'd be with a man again. I can't believe this. I love him so much. It's going great. And then it is not. Something happens. Oh no. Okay, this isn't working. Gina just told Chris that she's not doing well. Chris is like, what? Okay. So Chris starts spinning his wheels. He is giving everything. He is doing everything. He is exhausted. He is angry, but trying not to be angry. Gina is picking up on this and is like, you don't feel safe to be around. I don't know if we can do this anymore. Chris is like, what the heck? I don't even, no, this is not a unique story. This is super common. And here's why. Chris was raised in a way that he made everything better by doing more perfect, giving more. And when he did more and he gave more, he got so much praise. And when he did less or gave less, he didn't get any attention. He didn't get any approval. And man, he was basically abandoned. And he was abandoned, literally. Most clients who have this, like, I got to had a lot of neglect or abandonment in their childhood. And what happens is as soon as their partner starts to get disconnected, admits that there's some negative feeling, something is wrong, they spiral out. And what do? Do more and give more, because they were taught as a kid that they are loved for what they do for people and what they give to people, not who they are. So when somebody like Gina says, I'm feeling disconnected, I'm feeling hurt, something's up, they don't get curious. They don't hold space. They get exhausted. They get frustrated because they are already doing and giving everything they can. And so when they hear their partner say, I feel at a loss, I feel disconnected, I feel bad about this, we need to do something, they hear, you want even more from me. You want me to do even more? You want me to give even more? Do you not see how much I'm doing? Do you not see how much I'm giving? How could you do this to me? Gina is drowning because of how much Chris is doing and giving. She doesn't want him to do and give more. She just wants him to be with her. She wants him to be curious about her. She wants to just hang out with him. She wants to know him, to be known by him. She's not asking him to change. She's not asking him to do more. She's asking him to do a heck of a lot less. And she just doesn't know how to say it. And the truth is, with Chris and Gina, they're a perfect match. This is why I'm saying my clients, you're going to think I'm talking about you if my clients watch this. Because there are so many of you that have really similar wounds. I swear to God, these Chris's and these Ginas, they find each other. And the genders, completely arbitrary. Gina, on the other hand, grew up being perfect, but not too perfect. She grew up learning that perfection is shooting an arrow in the dark at a moving target. It's almost impossible. But when you miss, you get in trouble big time. So the safest thing to do
was to be invisible, to not be seen, but to do everything as perfectly as possible. So when Chris gets angry, when Chris gets frustrated, when Chris is like, what do you want from me? Gina withdraws. That's Chris's greatest fear. Chris is so afraid that she's leaving him, that she's going to abandon him, that she's going to neglect him. And his solution for that is do and give more. So when he does and gives more, which feels like clinging and feels frustrated and feels aggressive and feels like a punishment, like he's hanging it over her head, Gina withdraws more, which makes him do more, which makes her withdraw more, which makes him do more, because she is trying to do the safest thing she learned, which is not be seen. Gina is scared to be seen. She is scared that if she is seen, she will not be okay. If she is seen, not being perfect, she'll get more than neglect and abandonment. She'll get punishment. She'll get more than disconnection. She will get punished. So when Chris comes at her with doing more and giving more and asking what else he needs to do and all of that, it feels like he's about to punish her. So of course, Gina wants to run. Chris can feel that. And what does he do? Do and give more. Until we realize the core fear. And then we go, Gina is terrified that if she isn't perfect, if you get unhappy because of something she did, it means you're going to punish her. You're going to be mad at her. She's afraid she has to be perfect in front of people. And the only place she can be imperfect is on her own. And she gets to choose, am I willing to prove that wrong? That I am lovable, acceptable, approvable, validatable. I like that word. I think it's a totally made up word, but it's really fun. Validatable. Even when I'm somebody else's definition of imperfect in front of them. I do not have to be perfect to be connected. Am I willing to prove that? And the truth is, his core fear is I'm scared you love me for what I do for you, not who I am. So as soon as you say something's up, I spiral out into do and give. Am I willing to prove that wrong? Am I willing to prove that I am loved, accepted, validated, and approved of by me first, even if I don't do and give more? Am I willing? And I just used LAVA, lava. You can look that up and learn more about it. But that is what most of us are trying to get from our partners without giving to ourselves. And until we give it to ourselves, it's never enough. Our partners can never give it to us enough. Now, the next step is not getting your partner to prove it. Chris and Gina were trying to prove each other wrong. They were trying to prove that fear wrong. Doesn't work. It doesn't work until they prove it wrong to themselves. The point of having a hard conversation, the point of showing up in a relationship is not to convince the other person that you're lovable. It's not to convince the other person of you to see things your way. It's actually to show yourself, you've got you. You're okay. Even when they don't understand, you're okay. You are lovable, acceptable, validated, approved of by you first. And then you invite them to join you in on that. Love is a door locked from the inside. And you can only open it to the level of love you've given yourself. And then the only treatment you will accept is the treatment that matches what you give yourself. S. Triggers. Okay. People do not understand triggers. We all get triggered. And I like the analogy. Some people like to say activated or flooded instead. The reason I like triggers is because it's this tiny little trigger and it's a big explosion. It's a big reaction to a tiny thing. And the reason that is so misunderstood is we think that's all it is. It's a big reaction to a tiny thing. No. It is your brain, your body responding to this moment right now where you are an adult who has the power of choice, as if it's one from the past where you didn't have choice, control, or safety. The opposite of trauma is choice. My friend Abby Stumval said that. She's incredible. And it is so true. One of the best ways to know that you're not in your rational adult place is when you feel like you have no choice. When you're fighting, flighting, fawning, or freezing. Fight, flight, fawn, freeze are all trauma responses. So that might look like fighting, that's blowing up, talking a lot, really chasing, doing, brr, brr. Flight, that's running away. That's leaving the system. It's like, I'm out. Just avoiding. Fawning is placating. It's just saying whatever you need to say in order to make the other person happy, making them feel good, pretending. Fawning. Yes, yeah, whatever you probably don't even know what you feel, want, or need in that moment because you feel so endangered. You're just doing whatever it takes to make them happy. And freezing. That's when you just shut down and you freeze. Words don't come. Movements don't come. You just freeze. You don't know what to do. When one of those 4 things are happening, hello, you're having a trauma response. Yeah. And I love that. Because I hate that you had trauma. I hate that the things that happened to you. And I love that you can heal them. As Gabor Mate says, trauma was created in relationship, so that's the only place it can be healed. That's the place it has to be healed. That's part of what's so powerful about therapy. When you get a really good therapist, when you get an IFS therapist, an EMDR therapist, you are in a relationship healing that. And a really good therapist works so well with you, not because they are healing you, but because they are helping you heal yourself. That's what's so incredible about IFS and EMDR. A great therapist is like a Gandalf to your Frodo. You're on the path to Mordor, but Gandalf is guiding you and protecting you and helping you get there, kind of on the path, but can't do it for you. Can't walk for you. So I highly recommend, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I highly recommend IFS, EMDR, some kind of therapy that's not just talk therapy, but where they're really helping empower you and use your world and your internal world to heal. So when you get triggered, what do? When you have one of those responses, what do you do? First of all, you can often just add, I'm scared that, in front of what you're saying. I'm scared that you don't care enough about me to do X, Y, Z. I'm scared that you think I'm stupid. I'm scared that you're judging me. I'm scared that whatever. You fill in whatever the thing is, like stop judging me. You think I'm stupid. Whatever. I'm scared that you're lying to me. Whatever the thing is, you can just add, I'm scared that. And then, this is an important part. You turn to yourself and you're like, ooh, buddy, what do you need right now? Because you are really scared. A lot of people try to turn to their partner too soon. You're like, oh, well, I'm just scared that he doesn't fully accept me as I am. So you just say, I mean, when I first did this journey, I first tried to do that. I was like, oh, I'm scared that you don't accept me as I am. Can you prove to me that you do? He couldn't. Because I didn't accept me how I was. If you do this for real, generally you can find out, oh, I treat myself that way too. I think that you think that because I think that. So what I do in the workbook, which is a really, really powerful exercise, is when you do this, you ask yourself, what is the thing that just hurt me? What did my partner say or do that just hurt me? What did it feel like? If you could give me a story, an analogy, what would it feel like? It might sound like he went out with his friends without me and he didn't invite me. What did it feel like? It felt like he was punching me in the face. You go, she got frustrated at me and it just felt like she was scolding me and telling me I'm not good enough for her. Like she can't see what I do and how much I give. Like I don't live up to her standards. When he told them what I told him, I felt so betrayed. It felt like I was back at school and I was just standing there naked in the hallway. Now here's what's really powerful, and you got to be locked in and ready to do this. The next step is you close your eyes and you ask, when did somebody make you feel that way in your past? The earliest memory that you have of somebody making you feel that way. Often, what you said it feels like they're doing is what literally happened. I work with clients who did not realize abuse from their past is what's driving them right now. I have a lot of clients who chase. They won't let their partner take space. If I ask them, what are you afraid is going to happen to you if you don't do that? If you don't fight, flight, fawn, freeze. So I'm going to use the example of chasing your partner because there are enough clients who have the same story that I'm not outing anybody. If you are chasing your partner and you can't let them have space and you go, okay, what are you afraid is going to happen if you don't do that? Don't think too hard. Just what are you afraid is going to happen? You're like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. What does that look like? Don't think too hard. Just like what's the image that comes up? Oh, I get beat. Okay.
you're chasing your partner down, not letting them have space, because when you gave your parents space as a kid, when they came back, they beat you. That's terrifying. So as an adult, your body's still responding like that's what's going to happen. So the longer your partner takes space, the more you're certain that they're going to beat you. So you push and you push and you push and you push. And you would push to the point, I've had clients who push to the point that their partner is like, do you want me to hurt you? It feels like you're trying to get me to hurt you. What the heck? And sometimes the answer is weirdly, yeah. Because what's scarier than the fear itself is not knowing when it's going to happen. So we try to control when it's going to happen. Push, 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 push till you blow up. Great. Now it's done. Now it's behind me. I can breathe again. It's a weird thing that we do, but it is what we do. So when I'm working with you through this and you're dealing with this in the moment, it's stopping, it's closing your eyes, recognizing, oh, who made me feel that way in my childhood? What did they do to make me feel that way? What do you wish they had done instead? Instead of beating you, what do you wish they had done? Instead of whatever they did to you, yelling at you, dismissing you, neglecting you, abandoning you, what do you wish they had done to you? Almost always the answer is, I wish they had held me. I wish they had gotten curious with me. I wish they understood I was coming from a good place. I wish that they had said, oh, honey, it seems like you're hurting. Tell me more. And then here's the powerful step, and here's why this is powerful in relationship. It's not because your partner does it for you. It's because you do. It's because your trigger can only happen in relationship. It's not where you prove your partner heals you. It's where you prove you do. So the next step is closing your eyes, imagining yourself at that young age, that young you, and then doing exactly what you just said you wish the older person had done. You hug them, you hold them, you tell them that you love them, you get curious about them, you just sit there and you're with them. Then, now here's where you can lock it in. If you are with a safe partner, you can tell them, hey, here's what happened. I really blew up at you. I shut down at you. I was fawning. I was freezing, whatever your thing was, because I just got triggered and I felt like you were my mom in this story. And what I just did is I gave myself that. I gave myself love. I gave myself compassion. Are you down to get curious about it with me? Are you down to give that to me too? And then talk to them through it. And what's cool about this? Now, some people hear this and they're like, but that's so one-sided and it's selfish and it's making the issue all about you and blah, blah, blah. No, here's what's really cool about this. You can't help but give it back. You can't help but start to notice that when they fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, they are a wounded child too. When you give yourself that compassionate curiosity, you can't help but also want to give it to them. It's so powerful. Embarrassed. I'm going to make this one simple. It's kind of light. It's kind of fun. Kind of light and fun. Whatever you were rejected for in childhood, you're going to expect to be rejected for in adulthood. Simple as that. So if you were rejected constantly in childhood because every time somebody saw you, they were like, ugh, you're probably going to feel embarrassed all the time in adulthood. You're always going to be like, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. If you never felt good enough for your parent, you probably never feel good enough for your partner. Not necessarily because your partner is like your parent. More likely, you expect your partner to be like your parent, so you treat them like they are your parent. And you probably get stuck into this parent-child dynamic, which I see a lot. I totally get it. Totally get it. I've done it. I'm going to use a couple simple examples with embarrassment. My favorite example is about recording because it was such an obvious, oh my goodness. I'm living in a 400 square foot apartment with my husband, and he is working from home on his computer. He's a home inspector, so he spends the day inspecting, and then he spends the night writing up reports, or he'll come home in the middle of the day and write reports. And I'm trying to record, but he's in the silently clacking away at his stupid reports, and I can't record because he's there, and it's driving me nuts, and I'm getting a little peeved, and I'm trying to record, but then I'm like, it's fine, and I keep making comments about how fine, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And he's like, do you want me to leave? Like, what's going on? I was like, no, you don't have to leave, it's fine. And in my head, I'm thinking, men are so needy. in my 400 square foot apartment. Why does he always have to be around? Where is he going to go? Why can't he go to a coffee shop? Like, why doesn't he think about that? So rude. And then I know scene by this point, and I'm like, okay, well, what am I thinking? Scared. What am I scared of? I don't know. Can't really tell. Embarrassed. What am I embarrassed about? Oh no. It's just immediately. I'm so embarrassed that he sees me recording. I internalized something as a kid where I would show my parents something, and the response to what I had done was, that's it. Which made me think, ooh, never show someone your progress, only show them your perfection. So when my husband was there during the progress while I was recording, I was like, oh my God, he's going to reject me. I didn't know this. So I had anger. I was pushing him away because I was getting ahead of the thing. I didn't want him to see me in my progress. He was going to judge me. So I would not admit that at the time, but I was thinking about him as being needy. I was thinking about him as being too much. And the actual truth was I was terrified. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to be seen in progress. So I went, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been really snippy. He's like, what? I've been really snippy. It's like, yeah, I know. Because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that you're watching me do this. I'm embarrassed that you're watching me record. Because I have to do so many takes and I'm figuring out how to say the thing. And I just, he goes, oh, babe, do you want me to go to a coffee shop or leave or something? And I went, no. And now this is the point that I was trying to make in the last video, that I'm going to make in every video. We do not uncover triggers to avoid them. We uncover them to heal them. We uncover triggers to heal them. And I went, oh, no, baby. You stay. I want to prove to myself that I am safe, even when somebody is watching me in progress and not perfection. But that means I need you to be here. I'm going to do probably a very bad job recording, and I'm going to need you to say nothing negative. The only thing you are allowed to say is positive stuff. I cannot take criticism right now. All I can take is a you go, babe. Okay? And he was like, all right. And that's what he did. And after 2 weeks of that, 2 weeks of me recording, he's there, I got used to it. And I stopped being afraid of it. And now I ask for criticism. Because the root of this is we think we're going to lose connection if we receive criticism. We think that if somebody criticizes something, it means they are criticizing us as a whole. And now they no longer love us and we are no longer lovable. And oh no, we have lost connection. This is dire. This is awful. And that's where embarrassment really comes from. You're going to reject me on a deep level. So I cannot show you who I am because then I will be all alone. And now the opposite is true. Now I'm like, give me criticism, baby. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Where is it boring? Where is it interesting? Where is it not? What's good? What's bad? Come on. And I love his criticism. I thank him for that. Genuinely, that's my knee-jerk reaction is, thanks. Because I'm so confident that he loves me. Even when my video sucks, I still know that he loves me. And that's the other side of this, is that a lot of the healing that we do is, yes, going and regulating and treating each other really well in the interim, praising and loving and caring for each other in the interim. So that when you're like, you know what, I'm ready to heal this thing. I'm ready to stop being terrified to be seen. I'm going to need you to see me and love me. And when you criticize me, I'm going to need a lot of assurance for a while. And then you heal it together. So that is a personal example from embarrassment. A lot of people were so embarrassed of being stupid. They're like, I don't want to be seen as stupid. That if they are putting together a project or they're thinking through something, and even if they ask for help, their partner's like, oh, maybe that goes there. They're like, what? Why? Stop it. Get away. Don't watch me. And it's really, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so scared that you think I'm stupid. And so you push the person away, not because they are actually trying to take away your autonomy or they're actually trying to control you. They're just trying to be your partner. And it feels like they're seeing you in such an embarrassing moment. Expectations. This one's so constantly happening in our world. As soon as somebody says, it's the principle of the thing, or people just shouldn't do that, or good people don't do that, or
men don't do that, or women don't do that, or any like statement like that. They do not know themselves. They do not know themselves. You don't realize. We all were taught slightly different or drastically different expectations. Different expectations for what woman means, man means, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, partner, lover. What do we expect of ourselves in the bedroom? What do we expect of you in the bedroom? What do I expect of you when it comes to the kitchen and cooking and cleaning and being with the kids? And I mean, the expectation, you have an expectation right now. You will be able to continue watching this video. Do you know that? No, you can't. We can't think about all the expectations we have all the time. If you hit pause right now and you went, what are all the expectations I have? It would take you so long to list them out. I expect that the seat I'm sitting on is going to work. The ground below me is going to stay solid, that the video is going to keep playing, that a sound is going to work, that I'm going to be able to hear, I'm going to be able to see, I'm going to be able to. Those are all technically, from a literal standpoint, expectations. Now ramp that up emotionally, and we have all kinds of expectations we don't know we have. What we expect a partner to do in a partnership, what we expect ourselves to do in a partnership. This is where I like to bring in the concept of spider love. Now, there is this concept by Martha Beck that she calls spider love, which is essentially, if you ask a spider, do you love flies? The spider will say, yes. I love how they crunch. I love how they taste. I love that they're in the spider web. I can get them whenever I need them and get whatever I want from them. I love flies. Most parents accidentally turn their children into flies. A lot of parents do this. And what you learn as a kid is, if I want love, I need to sacrifice more. I need to abandon myself more. I need to lie about who I am and pretend to be the person that my parent wants me to be. I need to be a better fly, and then I'll be more loved. You get into a relationship, and as soon as disconnection happens, you think the problem is you're not being a good enough fly. You got to give more. You got to sacrifice more. You got to abandon more. You have the expectation that people will love you more if you act the way that makes them happy. You think, because you've been taught this, we've all been taught this, a lot of us have been taught this, I'm happy if you're happy. Your happiness is what makes me happy. That is not love. That is not noble. That's fear and manipulation. I had no idea. I had no idea that what I thought you expected of me was to be whoever you wanted me to be. I didn't think that was bad. I didn't think I was lying. I was sacrificing myself. I was doing the hard work of showing up the way you wanted me to show up. That is noble. That is incredible. That is loving. It is not. It is not. Man, we got to stop being flies. We got to start being humans. Two humans with lots of needs. You know what makes somebody really feel safe with you? When you're honest. When it comes to a long-term relationship, it is better to be trusted than liked. Because liked, when you're saying whatever it takes to get the other person to like you, is going to fall off. You're either going to resent them for making you be somebody you're not, or they're going to stop trusting you because they notice you're not who you say you are. Little glimmers of who you really are will pop through, and that'll scare the crap out of them. So being honest, showing up, being you is such a powerful way to change this. And why I'm bringing that up in expectations is because most of us think that's what's expected of us in love. Self-sacrifice, martyring, giving up what we love, giving up who we are, doing more, giving more. No. So start asking yourself in the moment when you feel disappointed, what did I expect of you? What did I expect of me? Did we agree on that? Now, this is what's exciting. You get to have that conversation and be like, oh, I just got mad because I was expecting you to act like this. I thought you were expecting me to act like this. Is that what we actually want from each other? And if the answer is no, you get to live by design instead of default, because we have all of our expectations implemented in, just like shoved in, just integrated in us without us knowing. And so we're just living by default. And now you get to live by design. It's so cool. Like my husband lives, it's so cool. I'm going to give you a very specific example next video. Boundaries. we get this wrong. We are taught this wrong because we are taught boundaries in a way that they sound like a punishment, but they are not. They are protection. Boundaries are not demands. They are not you statements. They are I statements. So most of us were taught boundaries like this. You shouldn't do that. You can't talk to me like that. You can't act like that. I don't like it when you do that. You should not do that. No, you listen to me. Don't you get it? Like, why do you not get it? You cannot do that. That energy, that is the energy, that desperate, I just need you to change for the love of God, change. That is demands, not boundaries. Boundaries are I statements. They are promises I'm making to myself and letting you know about them. Boundaries sound like when arguments get really heated, I feel so dysregulated. I just need to take a break. Or in simpler language, but when arguments get really heated, I don't do a very good job communicating. So I'm going to take 15 minutes, 2 hours, whatever the time period is, and then come back when I'm calm and I can be curious. One of my favorite examples is from Dr. Becky Kennedy. Love her. Love her. She talks a lot about parenting. And when she explains boundaries, they sound like this. Your mother-in-law wants to come over on Saturday. But Saturday is your nuclear family day. It's you and your little family, and you're going to have donuts together, and it's going to be wonderful. And your mother-in-law is like, I'm coming over. And you say, no. Now, demands are, you can't come over here. Why don't you get this? You need to stop. Or you talk to your partner and you're like, you need to talk to your mom, okay? Because it's not okay that she keeps doing this. And she shouldn't be like this. And you need to talk to her, all right? And if you talk to her, you're like, you need to get this. You shouldn't do that. Why do you not get this? Boundaries sound like, oh, I'm not inviting you over on Saturday. It's just us as a nuclear family. And then when your mother-in-law is disappointed, you go, yeah, of course you're disappointed. I would be too. You wanted to come over and you can't. Of course you're disappointed. And you're still not invited to nuclear family donuts. We'll figure something else out. You see the difference? The difference has everything to do with what kind of guilt you were taught to feel. Toxic guilt or healthy guilt? Toxic guilt asks the question, how do I say no in a way that everyone will accept and like and respond to really well and will keep everybody be happy? Toxic guilt is based on disappointment. Whoever is disappointed, whoever has a bad feeling, that's what I feel guilty for. I feel guilty because I made you have a bad feeling. I made you feel disappointed. What toxic guilt teaches you to do is prioritize whoever is the most disappointed. We do whatever the loudest person says we need to. We do whatever the most disappointed person says we need to. That's toxic guilt. Healthy guilt asks the question, how do I say no and tolerate it when others aren't happy with that choice? Because healthy guilt prioritizes living in alignment with your values. It does not matter how disappointed you, sir, are about my choice. I'm not going to feel guilty because my choice is in alignment with my values. Using the mother-in-law example, I choose to say no to the mother-in-law coming over on Saturday morning because my values are giving really special attention to my children on Saturday morning. You don't control me, mother-in-law, because my values do. I can tolerate you saying no because this was in alignment with my values. For me, I'm a creator. I have a big following on Instagram, TikTok, etc. And when I post there, what helps me so much not spiral out about negative comments is that I just check, was it in alignment with my values? Everything I post on there, my values are, does this help someone? Like, is the purpose of this to help? Is it honest? And does it give hope? 3 H's. Does it give hope? Does it help? And is it honest? If those 3 are true, then I do not care how mad you are. I don't care if you misunderstood me. I don't feel guilty about that because it doesn't matter. I was in alignment with my values. You're allowed to be mad at me. Maybe it's good for you to be mad at me. Maybe you need that right now. Maybe you need to go for it. You are allowed to be triggered by me, to whatever. That's part of your journey. Why would I take that on me? Because I'm a human and we naturally do that. Unless we teach ourselves healthy guilt and we check, is this in alignment with my values? That's how you set boundaries. Knowing what you need, checking in with yourself and asking, ooh, what do I need here? Making sure that need gets met, and then making the decision that makes sense. And knowing what you need is in alignment with your values. It's very helpful. The way you set gentle boundaries instead of, okay, this doesn't make you a bad person, just makes you not my person, that's pretty extreme. Some people are like, hey, I'm not trying to break up my marriage. I just need to set some boundaries here. A really helpful tool to do that is the same tool I give for how to start hard conversations. The acronym is VIC. 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 V, vision. Then I, invitation. And then C, collaboration. I want to have a healthy, connected relationship with you. Vision. Which means we're going to need to talk about some of these unhealed issues that we've had in the past. That's the vision. Then you ask, is that something you'd be open to right now? Are you open to delving into one of those right now? They are allowed to say no. You're still going to pursue having a healthy, connected relationship. If they say no and continue to say no, maybe they're not the person you have that healthy, connected relationship with. You can't control that. You can't control them. You can't control them. You can find somebody who wants that same vision. If they say yes, then you go, okay, here's what I was thinking. Here's how I think we should do it. What do you think? So we are coming from a place of care and love for each other. If we forget that and we stop being on the same team, let's take a moment and come back to it. Let's take a moment to remember. Maybe that's a timeout system. Maybe that's a code word, something like that. What do you think we should do? What are your ideas? You invite them to collaborate. Vision, invitation, collaboration. A really important thing that I just said there about hard conversations, which I mentioned in the mirror game as well. One issue at a time, preferably one time. Even if you're talking about a pattern, to understand the pattern, it is the most helpful to look at just the one time it happened. Just choose one time it happened and understand really what was going on there. We do the mirror game around it. We see how you felt, I felt, got it. Okay, understood. Now you can zoom out and go, that was the same fear under every time that pattern happened. If we can heal that fear next time this happens, we just broke the pattern. Do you see what I'm saying? One time, if you focus on the one time, that's going to help you. So it's a really important side note about hard conversations. As for boundaries, vision, invitation, collaboration. So I want to have healthy conversations, which means no yelling. Is that something that you're into? Yes. Great. How do we ensure that we don't get to yelling? Or if we do get to yelling, we have a fallback plan. What do you think we should do? Ta-da. That's how you set a gentle boundary. Okay. My husband is a grown-up hero child. I freaking love him. I love him so much. Loving him is the greatest gift of my life. And a lot of the clients that I work with are grown-up hero children. Here's what happens to grown-up hero children. When you were little, the thing that made you feel loved, approved of, and safe was getting things done. You were a parentified child. You did it all. Your job was making sure that your parents didn't worry about you. That was your job. Taking the worry off their plate. Taking as much worry off their plate as possible. So you just piled on the burdens, the jobs, the things, the needs, the other people's emotions, managing everything. You are like taking it all on, and it's heavy and it's exhausting and you don't want to have to do it anymore. But also you get praised for it. Or at the very least, it's the one time your parents aren't mad or angry. It's like, you're the hero. You're the hero of the family. You're doing so much. So you get a great sense of purpose, a great sense of capability from that. And also, you think that's the only reason people love you. So now you get into a relationship. And when you're in that relationship as an adult, your standards are really high. You're the one who cleans, cooks, does things, provides more. You do all the things. You're the Alex in the story from Alex and Amy. You're doing it all. And you are exhausted and you feel underappreciated. Even if you have a partner who's effusive and saying thank you all the time, it's just like they don't get it. You just never feel appreciated. It never feels, it's like just constant burden. You think it's because they're not helping you enough and they don't appreciate you. But when they try, back to Alex and Amy, they don't do it good enough. They don't do it right. They're not help. It's harder to have you do this than to just do it myself. You incompetent fool. But when I work with couples around this, they are scared. You're not over functioning because the other person can't function. You're over functioning because if you don't, why would they still love you? It is terrifying to let go of some of the responsibility and just let them be, let them do it badly, let them do some of these things that you've taken on. Then why would they still be with you? Why would they love you? If you don't feel wanted, you will make yourself needed. That is another Gabor Mate line. And that is what hero children did. They didn't feel wanted. They felt like a burden. And so they made themselves needed. They became the hero. And they feel like the other person is making it all about them. The other person is just making it all about the other person. And nothing is about them. Nobody cares about them. Nobody helps them. And that's in part because it's too scary to let somebody care about you. It's too scary to let somebody help you. It's too scary to let somebody learn how to do some of the things that you're doing by first doing them badly, because then why would they? Knowing that fear and knowing that expectation, it's so powerful, because then as soon as you start over functioning and doing and criticizing, that means, ooh, I just slipped into feeling disconnected. I am expecting myself to do it all because I think that's what you expect of me. That's what will get me love. That's what will make me feel safe. But it's killing me and it's killing us. Do less. Be more. And what I mean by that is not actually be more anything other than yourself, and be tired and take rest. Because a lot of the things on the list that we think that the house will not survive are pretty low stakes. They're pretty low stakes. And being able to have a partner that you go to and have a conversation and be like, you know what? This is too much and I'm drowning in it. First, are you down to help? If the answer is yes, then it's okay, great. How? This ties into the N with needs. So it's a really good setup for that, because this is the need of help me. So when you have the need of help me and you're not taking that in, that is probably why. It is very hard to be loving when you feel shitty. And you will feel shitty until you pour into yourself. Needs. What do you really need? What do they need? Here's the thing. We get needs so wrong. We get them so wrong. Because our most frequent complaint about our partner does not reveal their greatest flaw. It reveals our greatest emotional need. And I hope by now you have noticed they can't fulfill that need on their own. This is the tricky thing. So here's what I want you to do, okay? Before I dive into this any deeper, what I want you to think about is, what is their most frequent complaint about you? What is the thing they complain about the most? What's the complaint you hear there? Pause this video and answer. Or if it came to you, answer right now. Whatever came to mind, when you start to think about it, what I'm guessing your brain will do is go, I need to do this for them. I need to do that for them. Maybe they need me to show up. Maybe they need me. They need me. They need me. They need me. I need to. You hear their complaint and their emotional need as something you're supposed to fix. It's something you're supposed to fulfill. It's not how needs work. Relationships are far more about helping the other person care for themselves than they are about caring for the other person. Here's what I mean. That need they have is not yours to fulfill. It is not yours to fix. The thing that they complain about all the time, That's not all on you. You are not broken. You're not a bad partner. You're not screwing it up. They have an emotional need. And if they complain about it all the time and it's never happening, there is a significant part of the problem. That is, they don't care about themselves. They don't feel like they deserve to have that need met, that you're proving it right, that they don't deserve to have that need met. That's the underlying fear with needs. Criticism is almost always a cry for help from someone who is ashamed that they need help at all. And that is the underlying truth that I see over and over again with needs, with myself, with my clients. When we're actually looking at needs, the underlying truth is we don't think we should have them. And we're so afraid that we're needy or that we're a burden that when we feel like our needs aren't getting fulfilled, we go right into lawyer mode. We're like lawyer up and we have to prove why, you know what? I never asked for my needs to get met and now I finally am. And here's why I deserve to have this one met. And it's like fighting for it. And what I really want to teach you how to do right freaking now, darling, right now. Take a deep breath with me. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Okay. What is the thing you complain about the most? You wish they would listen to you. You wish they would help around the house. You wish they would. What? What is that? The thing you seem to complain about the most? Write it down. Put it in your head. I love writing. Something powerful about that. What is the thing you complain about the most? Okay, now. What emotional need does that reveal about you? What emotional need does that reveal about you? When they don't help and the timeline that you ask them to, does it make you feel unseen, uncared for, unheard? My shorthand to figure out what the emotional relational need is see me, hear me, help me, hold me. See me, hear me, help me, hold me. Do I feel invisible? Do I feel misunderstood? Do I feel alone in my goals? Do I feel like nobody wants to help me? Do I feel alone in my body? No one wants to hold me. Because under there is that fear that maybe I am alone. Maybe I'm not worthy of being held. Maybe I'm not worthy of being helped. Maybe if somebody helped me, it would hurt somehow, like to allow them, to trust them to help me. If somebody heard me, really heard me, maybe they'd use that against me. If somebody saw me, maybe they wouldn't like what they saw. Often the needs that we have, the greatest needs that we have, we're actually really afraid to get them met, to let somebody else meet them because they come with a fear. Thinking about your most frequent complaint, what does that reveal about your emotional need? What do you really need? Okay, now, whatever your answer was, what do you think that emotional need is? You're like, I don't know. That's a heady answer. Put that to the side. Allow that to sit on a shelf. All right, here's what I think my emotional need is. Let that sit on the shelf. Now what I need you to do, wherever you are, get comfy. All right, sit down, laid back. Take a deep breath. Feel this moment right now. And close your eyes. The part of you that complains, the part of you that says that emotional complaint, that complaint over and over again, the part of you that's like, oh, they never do this, they never do that. I wish they would this. Why don't they this? Whatever that part. Close your eyes. Hold this space in your mind, okay? You're holding this mental space. Ask the part of you that complains like that to step forward in the space so you can see it. It might look like a blob or a cloud or a character from a cartoon or a show, or might look like you at age 20, 16, 12, 10, 6, 5, 3. It might be a younger version of you. Ask the part of you that complains to step forward into this space in your mind so you can see that part of you. So you can feel that part of you. Like, oh, hi. This part of you that complains for really good reason. It is trying so hard to protect you and to take care of you and to make sure you get taken care of. It is trying so hard. Give it gratitude. Send it gratitude for all that it's doing, for all it's trying to do. Now, ask that part, what does it need from you? Not from me, not from your partner, not from your parent, not from your friend, not from anyone else. What is that part of you, the part that's protecting you so hard, that's complaining? What does it need from you? It may not respond. Good. It may tell you exactly what it needs. Good. It may not trust you yet. Good. Whatever is happening is good. Just paying attention to that part is rebuilding the trust that you need in yourself in order to have the kind of relationship with other people that you so long for. What does that part need from you? This may be the first time it's ever been asked. If it did give you an answer, then with your eyes closed, see if you can give that part of you what it asked for. Maybe it asked to be accepted, to be held, to be given a break. Give it whatever it asked for. And when you're ready, come back to me. When I talked earlier in the course about step 1, step 2, step 3, this is the step 1. It's that turning to yourself and giving yourself compassionate curiosity. Until you do that, no matter how much your partner tries to fulfill your needs, it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. And I get it. I still fall into this, and it sucks. I have this fear of being selfish. I have this, it would be the worst thing in the world to be selfish. And it would be the worst thing in the world to think that I deserve to get my needs met. No. But the truth is, to put it super simply, it is very hard to be loving when you feel shitty. And you will feel shitty until you pour into yourself. When you pour into yourself, everything else will flow. When you pour into yourself, everything else will flow. You can't help but be loving when you're loving yourself. For some reason, we think that love is something to be earned. That if I just do enough, if I just give enough, if I sacrifice enough, if I can figure out how to be easy enough, then I will deserve love and then you will give it to me. And if you don't give it to me, then I'm allowed to be mad at you for it. That's not how love works. The most loving people you know aren't loving because of you earning it more. They're loving because they're loving. Because they are in a loving space, because it's flowing from them. That has nothing to do with you, boo-boo. You do not need to sacrifice yourself to have connection. As a matter of fact, when you do, you make it impossible to connect with you. You say, oh, well, for today, you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to take care of myself because you really need this. I'm not going to take care of myself because you really need this. And yourself moves out of your body. And then when the person who loves you tries to connect with you, you're not there. This shell of a human who's empty and performing, that's who's there. You are abandoning yourself before anyone else got the chance to. And really, that's why we're all so afraid of abandonment, because we're doing it to ourselves. We're so afraid of being abandoned that we abandon ourselves. And the reason we do that is from a concept called spider love. Most of us were raised to believe that the pinnacle of love was spider love. It's a concept by Martha Beck. And what that looks like is, if you ask a spider, how do you feel about flies? The spider will go, love them. I love flies. You're kidding me? Flies are the best. I have them in my web. Whenever I'm hungry, I just go to them for a hit of life force, life juice. I get what I need from them. Move on with my life. I mean, it's incredible. They're right here. I love it. I love flies. They crunch great. They taste good. They serve me well. Most of us accidentally, sometimes because of a religion we were in, sometimes because of the parents we had, we were taught the most loving thing to do is be a fly. If you want to be loved by somebody, be a really good fly. As soon as you notice they need something, sacrifice yourself to give it. As soon as you notice they want something, sacrifice yourself to give it. And slowly but surely, we don't know why, but we resent them. We blame them. And then we feel bad about resenting and blaming. So then we suppress that in ourselves. And we give more, and we sacrifice more, and we are empty of ourselves, and we have no life, and we are watching the people around us just suck the life out of us, and we don't realize either we chose somebody who wanted a love like that, somebody who wanted to be a spider and was trying to find a fly, or we turned somebody who never wanted to be a spider into the spider in our life, which I have done, which my husband has done. Part of the reason my husband and I are like so madly in love and such a match made in heaven is we both tried to be flies, and we would take turns being the fly and being the one who was sacrificing more and being the one who was thus resenting more. And then the other person would be the spider who's like, how are you going to let me down today? Because that's the thing, when you get into this cycle, when you are the fly, you're constantly on eggshells and you're constantly trying to figure out the right thing to do, and you're self-sacrificing and you're empty and exhausted. And when you're the spider, something shifts and you're like, I don't know what's off, but something is off. You must be doing something wrong. Do better. I think it's you. I think your behaviors are wrong. Because the fly is saying, I'm not being a good enough fly. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I do that. I'm sorry. And the spider's like, okay, I guess it is your problem. Maybe if you change this, maybe if you change that, maybe if you say this, maybe you say that. And slowly but surely, you get in this awful dynamic that neither of you likes. Both of you are alone. And the fly says, there's no room for me in the relationship. And the spider says, I'm so alone in this relationship. And how you solve that is you start pouring into yourselves. Instead of asking the other person to pour into you, instead of pouring into the other person, you pour into yourself, and then you do things from love, not for love. You do things because you are in a loving space. not so that you can deserve to receive love. And when you do that shift, it's so powerful. So when it comes to needs, you got to turn to yourself first. I got to turn to myself first and be like, hey, babe, what do you need from me? Rest, meditation, fitness, food, a nap, a nice little holding of myself in my head. And then once I give myself what I need, that is when I can turn to my partner and go, here's what just happened. Here's what I need. Can you help me with that? Can you give that to me too? And here's what's really freaking cool about this. Okay? That is how you start to have boundaries. That's how you start to have boundaries. Instead of, you need to do this, you should do that, you never listen to me, you got to listen to me. I don't accept that kind of treatment, which sounds like a nice statement, but is actually a you statement. If you're trying to get them to treat you a certain way, that's a demand. And if you're like, I'd really like it if you did this, that's a request. A boundary is, this is what I do. This is what I do. We run into a conflict. I want to talk about it calmly and get curious together. And so when we lose that, let's check back in with each other and try to remember. And if we can't do that, I'm going to take a 15-minute break and come back, a 2-hour break and come back, a 3-hour break and come back, whatever the timeline is. I need to have mornings by myself so I can pour into myself. So I won't be able to XYZ. See you in the morning, walk, whatever, like figure it out. You slowly learn, what do you need to become you, to allow you to really be here? Because I'm going to tell you something. Here's what I fully believe. And the more couples I work with, the more I believe this. I believe you are perfect. I don't have a better word than spiritually, but spiritually perfect. Like the way you were made, whether you feel like you're too much, whether you feel like you're never enough, whatever you're like, meh, like I always have big emotions or I never have emotions or whatever the thing is that you're like shamed about. I think that tends to be part of your superpower. And you were made perfectly. Truly. I truly believe that. Because when I'm working with couples, what I watch happen is when we let it be simple and when they allow themselves and each other to come through and they get curious about themselves and they get curious about each other, when their protectors set down their shields and their swords and their true nature just comes out, how you think, how you talk, where you come from. Like when the perfect you comes out, I'm not saying there are no mistakes made, meaning like you stumble over your words and you do whatever. I think that happens. I just don't think those are mistakes. Because I watch it create connection and create this bond that these two people were meant to have. And what I'm trying to help you do through this entire method is let it be simple and let you be you. Free yourself to be yourself. When something comes up and you start to feel distant, okay, what am I protecting myself from? And taking care of myself and then inviting you on that journey of caring for me and asking to be part of the journey of you caring for you. That is incredible. And I want you to experience it so badly. So if it's something you want to experience, I hope that all of this scene method stuff is helping you get there. I briefly mentioned see me, hear me, help me, hold me when explaining the emotional needs. I actually call them the 4 relational needs. Here's what I've noticed with couples, with myself, with people. These 4 relational needs, see me, hear me, help me, hold me. We tend to have kind of like love languages, one that means more to us. And that one that means more to us is usually the one we have the most trouble receiving. See me, hear me, help me, hold me. And what I mean by that is, okay, you're a grown-up hero child, like I talked about earlier. If you're a grown-up hero child, help me is probably the one that's the hardest for you to receive. Because if you start helping me, then you're taking away the thing that makes me feel like I deserve to be in this relationship. So help me might be the last thing I'll accept from you. If I've had trauma or was taught that physical intimacy is shameful or dangerous, hold me is maybe the last thing I will accept from you. I need to be seen, heard, and helped before I'll let you hold me. Help me. I need to be seen, heard, and held before I let you help me. If I, growing up, never knew if I was going to get punished or praised for the same thing, being seen is going to be really dangerous, and I will need you to hear me, help me, and hold me before I let you see me, truly see me. And if when I was truly vulnerable and I told you something and I really felt understood, that was used against me, either by you or by somebody in my past, then I'm going to need you to see me, hold me, and help me before I'm going to let you hear me. So when it comes to the relational needs, which are fun and great and easy to remember, see me, hear me, help me, hold me, we need all four. We need all four. And learning your partner and learning where their fear is, going back to fear, and learning, okay, they're really afraid that I don't care about them. And the thing that makes them feel like I don't care about them is when you notice, when they don't feel heard, don't feel seen, don't feel helped, don't feel understood. You just, don't feel held. We start to notice that, okay, got it. So my husband is not going to let me help me. If he isn't letting me help him, I'm like, oh, you're in survival mode. You don't feel seen, heard, and held. All right. First things first, I got to make you feel seen. The first thing that he needs is feeling seen. Second is heard. Third is held. Fourth is helped. That's his order. For me, what helped means is different. For my husband, it's very physical. It's like acts of service, doing the dishes and doing the laundry. For me, being helped is actually hearing me and then building a world with me, thinking about ideas with me, all of that. And it won't matter to me until I feel seen and heard. Otherwise, I'll feel like you're trying to make me feel guilty and weaponize me, which is really interesting. So one of the ways that you can know that you're starting to get disconnected is, do you feel guilt or gratitude? If you feel guilt, okay, I think we're in a battle of keeping score. And so when you do something for me, I think that it's you trying to make me feel guilty. Let's shift that into gratitude. And that's a conversation you have. How do we shift back into gratitude? Do you feel seen? Do you feel heard? Do you feel helped? Do you feel helped? Do we feel collaborative or competitive? If we're in the competitive space where we're keeping score and figuring out who's doing what wrong, and we're asking the questions of should I feel this way or should I not feel this way? Should you have done that or should you not have done that? Am I right or are you right? Are you oversensitive or am I an asshole? Are you an asshole or am I oversensitive? If you're asking those questions, we have lost curiosity. Compassionate curiosity is, ooh, something's off here. What's going on? Where are you? What are you feeling and why does it make sense? Back to the mirror game. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope it helps. See me, hear me, help me, hold me. It's fabulous. Okay. And that's needs. You did it. Okay, first I need to warn you because you just came from the needs video, and if you didn't pause and you just binged through, I need you to know that I'm in a very different mood than I was when I recorded this needs video. Okay, so brace yourself for a lot of energy. You ready? Okay, congratulations. Can you believe you watched that whole thing? You just learned so much. You just became a better person. You just proved to yourself through action how much you care about yourself, about your relationships. You were there for you throughout that whole thing. Hello. Come on. You made it to the end? You made it to the end? If you made it to the end, wait, I have an idea. If you made it to the end, go to the comment section and write, purple elephants really are the coolest animal. Write that sentence. And then we'll see how many people write that sentence. And that's how we'll know how many people actually made it to the end. I feel like it's going to be one of you. Just one person out there. And you, my friend, I like you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. If you got through all of this and you're still like, okay, I want to do more. I want to do this. You want to work with me personally. You want to meet other people who have similar interests to you, have the same pain points to you. Come to one of my events. It's a blast. I can't believe I get to do this. To get to witness people heal in relationship is the coolest, most beautiful, magical thing. I'm so grateful to get to do it. And if you want to do that work with me, I have a weekend event that you can come to where I teach you all the tools you just learned, except you practice them with other people. And we just plow through and give you the comeback you always dreamed of. I also have other things as well. You can find everything that you want in the description. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of me doing what I love. You are part of the reason that I get to do what I love by virtue of just being here and watching and caring about this stuff. Thank you so much. I hope that I get to meet you someday. Let me also say, if I saw somebody saying that, I'd be like, I call bullshit. Try me. If you see me in public, try me. I will be excited to meet you, I promise. Even if I'm in a bad mood. We can be grumpy together. Okay. Have a fabulous day. Thank you so much. Thank you.